it's going to be a marvellous day, and already it's looking like a spectacular sunny day, and the crowd is going to come out to enjoy it because, and thankfully, Scoresby are probably now in a division where they can be more than competitive.
And if you're going to get a big crowd on a day like this, it's certainly 24 degrees and sunny, not a cloud in the sky is probably the right day to do it. And speaking of payment, we pay this bloke in Yarra Valley Water, so he's kept well hydrated.
Great to be here, Carlton fan, and looking forward to seeing Cooter play. Pretty exciting stuff.
In the black and white?
I was going to say, just on that.
I don't like that element of it.
Of course, Cooter's going to run around for Scoresby, for those who are unaware, in black and white stripes this afternoon. Both sides wearing their Anzac Day jumpers as part of the 100 jumpers for 100 years between the RSL and, of course, ESP. So it's fantastic to see that both clubs will support. I think we're as we have seen all weekend, we're going to have the ode and also the last post played before the start of the senior game. But we're certainly getting ready for that come 2:50 this afternoon. Grant, you were out at Surrey Park and Donvale yesterday. Was it a result that surprised you, or did you think that Donvale was certainly the side to cut above and maybe that Surrey Park probably kicked themselves out of the game?
I think your latest sentiment there is what happened in that second quarter. Surrey Park, they should have gone in front.
Is it 1-7 or something?
They had 1-7 from set shots and 2 behinds from general play as well. So 1-9 for the quarter. They should have gone in at half-time 3 goals up, I'd say, maybe even more. If that happened, then who knows what happens in the third quarter. But Donvale, they didn't get put away, and to their credit, their third quarter was fantastic. I thought the first half, the standard wasn't brilliant. It didn't look like 2 top 4 sides. But the second half, I felt the intensity rose from both sides, and they showed that I reckon they'll be around the fringes of the top 4. I don't see them being better than Ferntree Gully or Kilsyth at this stage, but I reckon they'll be around 3rd to 6th position on the ladder.
And Grant, we always talk about Division 4. The general level's improved, but it always comes down to a good top line of 4 or 5 or 6 players that can not necessarily carry the side, but be the strength of the side, and that's what makes the difference between the division. Have Donvale and Surrey Park got that excellent 4 or 5, you reckon that could take them a long way?
Well, going just by yesterday, it's hard to say. Certainly Paolini, who we gave best on ground for Surrey Park, he was tremendous. Just great in the air and used the ball really well. So he's one. Kazupi, live wire up forward. We saw how many goals he kicked in the first couple of rounds. It was a bit quieter yesterday, but you see the class of him. I'm not sure about the rest of them. I think they've got enough quality to be highly competitive for the rest of the season. As for Donvale, I think they've probably got 5 or 6 guys that would be in any other side. So yeah, I see them as a top 4 contender for sure. Were
they the Doncaster sort of guys that have been playing in, even if it was reserves, in a higher division, Division 2? Were they the ones that looked maybe a class above in a way?
A little bit. I think Purcell, he didn't get a lot of it. I was taking his stats. I reckon he only had about 10 for the game, but every time he touched it, he did use the ball very well, make things happen, kicked a few goals, spent some time in defence as well. Hagen the ruck, we gave second best on the ground. He was really good. I'm not sure about his playing experience, but I thought he was their best player. I'd be interested to see who they named as their best because I haven't looked at the.
Well, now you're testing me.
Haven't looked at the results from it.
We spent all morning looking at it, guys.
Yeah. One other aspect before we maybe move on is, as the papers fly off, and we're in a great vantage here at Scoresby, but the wind might affect us. We have to. What about the support? Surrey Park have had a tough, many years, and Donvale have gone out of the competition for whatever reason it was at the time, and now are reborn with a new jumper. What about crowd support and how they're looking?
The crowd was reasonable. I wouldn't say it was huge, but the hard thing is, last week we were at Mitcham, and they one of the most closely watched, fanatical supporter bases. So yeah, not huge, but certainly respectable, and their hospitality was very good. Gave us some chocolate bars for free, so that was always nice.
Geez, you're naming the vital parts of a day at the footy.
Yeah, the free food is number one in my book.
Well, when we pay him in water, he needs to make up his sustenance somewhere else.
You've got to get some sugar.
We've just been greeted by the local house cat, just running along the fence there.
Giving clues away of where we might be here in Scoresby.
This is probably the most high-tech setup that Cooter's seen in his playing career, I'm pretty sure.
Well, it does rival Princess Park.
Yeah.
Maybe in the dilapidated days when the scoreboard caught fire. When was that, 70s or 80s?
80s.
So, yeah, well, actually, Bulldogs played many a home game at
so did
Princess.
the Lions.
Yeah, so I didn't mind viewing football from there, but yeah, maybe a bit far of a reach to compare Scoresby Recreational to that.
Well, we've still got probably, 40 minutes till game time. We might send our boundary riders down shortly to ground level to see if they can track down some special guests. Of course, we did mention that Anthony Koutafiti is lining up for the Scoresby Football Club this afternoon. Either way, I think it's going to be a pretty intriguing contest because both these sides will be desperate to get early season wins because I think confidence with, particularly with Scoresby having not won too many games over the past 12-18 months, they'll be certainly looking for a few first up wins. What
I'd like to see from Baronia is them kicking a score that can get close to 100 because over the last they've had a great history of being a finalist in this division when they had some great players like Dean Grice running around. But now they're redeveloping the list, trying to grow from a lower base. They just haven't got any scores on the board last year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That was the biggest thing for me, looking at this Baronia list that we had to write out ourselves this afternoon, is there's not a lot of names that regular AFL people who have been around the league for a couple of years would know. You mentioned Dean Grice, Jess Bolton, Jess Moore, all these guys that were stalwarts of the club, when they were playing finals on a regular basis and consistently winning games are now gone. They're now a lot of kids that have come through their under-19 system and, you look at guys like Zach Callan and Dane Catley, Jacob Redaway, all these young kids that are probably only, realistically, they're probably only 20, 21. Corey Burgess is another one. These are the guys that are going to be the future of the club that they need to really batten down the hatches for the next couple of years, and then success will come after that.
They've only had one 100-plus score in their last 20 games, so obviously once out of the last 18 in 2015, and they did get 99 in round one, so that was a pretty decent score, but that's further to your point, Cap, that they haven't been a high-scoring side. And you need to be able to realistically kick over 80 points to have some chance of winning most games.
Well, we've seen with Heathmont in the same division how they recruited well and got in a couple of goal scorers who went from averaging 55, 60, whatever it was last year, to now being 3 from 3 rounds with kicking goals with English and O'Driscoll, I knew it was an O. O'Driscoll kicking 4 yesterday. You do need the goals. I mean, you can play all the systems you like, but at local footy, if it's not going through the middle, you can it's just too easy to fall off. Momentum will just switch if you're not getting the score on the board.
It's funny, yesterday and on Friday night, I mentioned that bad kicking is bad football, and to me, the perfect example is all the clubs that have played Doncaster East this year. And you go there, particularly in round 1 and round 3. So Murrabak had 48 scoring shots in round 1. Yesterday, Wanturna South, I think, had 46. It was 23-23.
Yep.
If you're getting it within scoring range 50 times in a game, that's where success comes. It's not from shutting down sides. It's not, and it's proven time and time again that attacking sides win finals games.
Yeah, at the local level. But where, say, the Bulldogs played Brisbane, I'm not going to rub it in how poorly the Lions were. But the Bulldogs set a record.
I was actually pretty impressed.
That they didn't lose
to get within 50 points.
But the point is that the Bulldogs kicked it too deep, and they got in 73 times inside 50, but they didn't get the dominant scoreboard because you still got to work it around at top level. But here, it's probably more simple.
Yeah.
If you do get it forward and inside 50, you will get the score on the board. But like Donny East have got a win or two off bad, they got that win the week before purely on the basis in that. And yesterday,
Bays would have kicked themselves out of it.
Yeah, and Surrey Park yesterday, I don't know if the consensus is that they lost their chance to win it in the second term by kicking points. And we're seeing all through the weekends, the first few weekends we've looked at the scores, there's teams that are kicking 12-18s and 9-15s. That's not good enough.
Lilydale did it. No, they kicked 16-22 or something like that. I think we both made fairly decent points in the fact that you're obviously getting it in there enough, but are you in close games, that's going to come back to bite you on the butt.
Probably the other point that should be mentioned with bad kicking, it's not just when you literally kick it behind, it's also players knowing how far they can kick the ball. There's so many set shots I've seen in radio games this year. Guys are on the 50, they look uncertain, like they're not sure they can make the distance, then they get it to about 1 metre out and it gets punched through. Well, that's just as bad as a miss, even if it's accurate. If you can't make the distance, pass the ball off to someone.
Yeah. Well, I went to the Eastern Lions Kilsyth game. I watched the last 3 quarters of that game last night. And for those of you who don't know, Eastern Lions getting up in a tight affair by 2 points, and bloody good game of football, to be honest.
What were the conditions like at 9 o'clock at night? Because it
was a 6 o'clock start, so it wasn't too late.
Oh, okay.
But it actually. It was a bit scrappy for the first half, and I think the dew and the cold weather and that all sort of played a bit of a factor in that. It was a low-scoring game. I think it was about 7-10 to 7-6 or something like that at the final siren. But there was an exact situation like Grant just mentioned. I think it was Temple, it may have been for Eastern Lions, had a shot that was going to put him in front, and I think everyone else around the ground knew that he wasn't going to make the distance, but he still took the kick anyway. And yes, there's a plus and minus to that, and you say, well, if I miss it, it goes to the goal line, we still have another crack at it. But you've got to also know how far you can kick it. He ended up screwing it off the right side of his boot and it went out on the full. So, I think it's blokes just probably overestimating their abilities.
Yeah, well, Veronia would want to match. The inside 50s will be a crucial one, because where's Cooter going to play today, do we think? Full forward?
I'd say deep forward, yeah.
So this
I don't see him coming too far out of the goal square.
In terms of excitement, probably Baronia don't want to get too reactive, knowing that Scoresby will try to kick it as long as possible, as often as they can, whereas Baronia is probably the villain of the piece, so to speak, if we're talking in neutrals looking at Cooter. But it'd be interesting, the dynamic outside of that. How does the game develop?
I think you probably look back to the Brian Lake game and Templestowe in round 1. Excuse me. And what happened there was, obviously Templestowe have got a half-decent key forward, a bloke who knows he can kick 100 goals, Kid Atalevsky. But Lake was essentially used as a decoy all day.
That's ridiculous.
Which, he called it, the boys were calling him Tom Boyd. He's the highest paid decoy in football.
Oh, dear.
But the point being there is, whilst they might double team Kouta-Fedes this afternoon, it means there's going to be another 3 blokes who are usually key forwards 1, 2 and 3, who are all open up and getting in space.
And do you know if he trained with the group on Thursday?
I think he trained Tuesday.
And what was the vibe like? Any word? We may or may not speak to someone before the game. What was the vibe coming out?
From all reports, I was talking to Peter Castledine, the president, during the week, and he said there was, people here from about 5 o'clock before Cooter got here looking for signatures. Ball zipped around on the track, as they always say, usually before a final. But I think it's been a real positive thing for the club, and we saw it with Fev at Donvale last year, that whilst these one-off games may not be great from a league point of view, I think from an individual club wanting to try and make a bit of extra money and get some excitement back into the club. We saw what it did for Donvale. There was probably 2,000-3,000 people there. Here, the crowd's starting to build. It's actually it's starting to get there in the last 20 minutes or so, and there's still another 25 minutes before game time anyway.
Do I dare say that it reminds people that you exist? Because Donvale did come back into the competition and maybe needed some publicity. And Grant, we've all seen before that some clubs get more acknowledgement than others because they're playing finals all the time. The league just wants a pure competition, but the clubs, as Dyson was saying, they've got to make some money on the side to keep going. Otherwise, where will they be?
Well, you used the Fev example last year. Donvale won 1 game for the year. If he didn't go and play a game at Donvale, we wouldn't have gone out there to watch them play, because there's no relegation in Division 4, so there's no other reason apart from his performance last year. So you're right, in publicity terms, you need that element to your club. If you're not travelling the best, go out and get a high-profile player. I don't see it as a bad thing, really.
Sometimes the opposition will crack us stink about, we would have beaten them any other day of the year. Why should we have to cop, Racamanis, even though they didn't win, but the year before, Matty Whelan? Why do we have to cop these AFL players visiting the opposition?
And I think that's the viewpoint from a league standpoint, is that it does change the result of one game based on potentially one player. And I mean, we've been lucky in the way that, you know, Glen Waverley Hawks still beat Donvale, so it didn't affect the result there. Yesterday, Ringwood still getting them at the line against Park Orchards. But the big one that personally I didn't really like was the Chirnside Park Orchards games. You mentioned Whelan, Davey, and I can't even think of
Wheatley?
Who all played for Chirnside Park in an away game. So the only reason you're doing that is to win a game and take 4 points.
Yeah.
But with that said, you mentioned that a few sides can sort of taper off into obscurity a little bit, and Baronia's probably been one of those sides where they finished around, you know, 6th or 7th the last couple of years. A few sides do it. Chirnside Park have done it the last few years. We don't usually go there and call a game because they're not usually battling for finals late in the season, and Scoresby's probably going to be one of those sides for the next couple of years before they start to really rebuild. And you know, this is the perfect chance to come out here.
Yeah, because Scoresby have a proud history. We've all been there when they've gone up the divisions from as low as Division 3, 5.
Playing in Division 1 grand finals only 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's right. And then under Christian Bardsley was coach. And the club can just live off their own deeds. But then the local game gets dwarfed by the AFL overall.
Yeah.
But in this area, Scoresby, Roval's across the road.
Yeah.
And down the road, there's another club and then another club who, if they're not taking your gate receipts, they're taking your players.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's tough to remain on top because you're always looking over your shoulder.
Well, and this is this sort of knocks municipality, and both these sides fall into it. It's probably the most heavily congested in terms of sides per, you know, geographic area. You've got Eastern Lions up the road, you've got Wanturna South and Knox around the corner, you've got Boronia and Bayswater who aren't that far away.
There's more clubs on this road than McDonald's. It's that congested.
Which is saying something. That's probably a good way to put it. We're just looking at the reserves game. There was also a veterans game and an under-19s game played this morning, so they certainly made the most of it across this afternoon. You can see that most of the under-19s guys are at number 3 across the fence. There's about, I don't know how much a tile roof can handle, but they're certainly pushing the limits of that.
No, it's not people, it's possums.
I think they're at about 25 or 30 at the moment, so whoever owns the house is going to get a rude shock if they end up falling right through the middle of it. And currently in the reserves game, Boronia 11-4-70. I just got that.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. I didn't want to, but they don't sponsor our competition, do they?
They don't.
Okay.
Boronia 11-4-70. You mean BJS Insurance?
Yes,
they
of course.
do. Yep. Boronia 11-4-70. Leading scores be 7-6-48 in what has been a pretty competitive match in the reserves so far. As we start to tick down towards the senior game, I'm actually really excited about this one. It's obviously going to be the first Scoresby game we've done here in particular in a while. And last time we were here, we were in this very spot. Anthony Stengitz was media manager back in the day, and it bucketed down with rain all afternoon.
That's not surprising. The last time I reckon I was here for junior grand final, I was probably in the timekeeper's dugout or whatever, or the outside coach's box area, and the rain came in sideways.
Yeah.
So it was just like, not only was the camera needing a wiper, but I was totally just frozen and dejected by the end. By the under-16 time.
I think we're going to be right this afternoon. So if you're thinking about coming out to Scoresby Reserve and you're not too sure about whether the conditions will hold up, first of all, open your window because it's as sunny as she gets. And second of all, there's not a cloud in the sky. So make sure you make your way down here. It's $8 at the gate. You can grab the Eastern Footballer for another $2. It's a pretty cheap day out. That's well enjoyable.
Yeah, when it's not often you get a vibe like this at local footy. So if I was a local to the area and didn't care about the result, I'd come down because every time Cooter touches it, the roar will be something of a sensation, and the vibe here just generally is just fantastic. What do you reckon, Grant?
Oh, absolutely. Even though he hasn't played for a long time, you reckon he's the kind of person that, I haven't seen him, but you reckon he's still in reasonable good shape?
He would not have a gun.
He's got his own fitness club, so I think that he'll still be very hard to beat one-on-one in marking.
Where's Ange Christo?
He's not going to lose his.
I'm not looking for the Fev from his Carlton days. I'm looking at the Fev from his Gladiator days.
Gladiator days.
You remember when he was on that?
Was he on Gladiator?
Yeah.
Really?
He was
Mike Whitney
known as the Adonis or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about Cooter?
Yeah.
I thought you said Fev.
Oh, right.
You did say Fev. Sorry.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you totally lost me on that one.
Anyway,
We've seen Fev in the jungle. And now
should we just refer to every reality show we know?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry, if I drop any more sponsors, actually it might work at a treat, because can we get retrospective sponsorships out of today?
Cash for comment?
Pretty much. That's the only way I'm going to get paid today.
We'll see if we can pick up a ching ching sound effect for every time you mention another company.
Yeah. There's a chicken franchise or something that might want to give me a free meal or something.
Although I'm sure there's plenty of businesses around Scoresby Village that'll be sure to sponsor you. But we'll see. Anyway.
Oh, well, that's way forward for the media manager, Dyson Baker, to, keep us happy.
Personal
sponsors.
Personal sponsors. Well, Grant's got his. Are you thankful to the people at Yarra Valley Water, Grant?
Oh, absolutely. I drink water all the time, so
it does keep you,
very.
It does keep you alive.
It certainly does.
It's always the best way. We got a little bit off topic there, but just mentioning the crowd, mentioning coming down, they're probably starting to fill in, 1 or 2 deep, almost right around the ground at the moment. So make sure you get here early. Of course, there's no parking inside the ground other than disabled parking this afternoon, which I think we were lucky the way that we came in, that we're around the back streets. But I drove past about an hour ago up and down Stud Road, and there's cars parked all the way up. All the way down towards the Caribbean Gardens and all the way up towards...
Dare I say councils are revenue raisers, but would they be hiring ticket inspectors or whatever you call them on a Sunday?
I'd hope not. I really hope not. And I only say that because I saw about 4 guys who all parked up on the on the curve. And
I wouldn't be surprised. The only parking fine I've ever got was Division 2 Grand Final Day a couple of years ago, where I didn't even realise I was breaking a rule that existed, but I learned about it afterwards. No, it was you're not allowed to park 20 metres within a corner or something unless you're 2 metres away from the line in the middle, and I was 1.5 or something.
They got the tape measure out.
It was some technicality rule which I had no idea existed.
They're all technicalities.
Yeah.
But anyway,
they have lawyers. They write them as technicalities so you don't understand it when you get them.
Mind you, the parking fine's probably about the same as parking at Etihad, so it all balances out.
Oh dear. We might lose one sponsor now.
I don't think Etihad's sponsoring us anytime soon.
I might need a flight. Get them on board.
So I'm sure Ben would appreciate that. Yeah. Although I don't think Etihad do Melbourne to Sydney.
No, they don't do that. He can take Tiger.
So all done and dusted in the reserves game, and Baroni getting up in the end. Baroni 11-4-70 defeating Scoresby 7-7-49, which means that we're ticking down about 20 minutes until we get proceedings underway here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. Excited about this one, as we've mentioned numerous times. It's going to be a great day as Ben Warren Smith just rolls in.
As he does.
We'll see how he goes, because we're going to be standing in the sun all afternoon. So he's been complaining that he won't have a hat, but it's certainly, the sunshine is going to be a major issue here, but we'll work with it.
Well, he should be prepared. I mean, the sun's his natural enemy, really.
That's true.
He's clearly the broadcast manager and not a manager of himself.
I think actually the 3 of us, Dyson, you're in the same ballpark in terms of whiteness.
I thought you were saying in terms of hair.
Oh, well, no, I thought I was pretty
I've at least got Ben covered.
Yeah. In terms of whiteness, we're at the extreme end.
Yeah, look, I think I did send Ben out for some sunscreen, so he has come good on that. So hopefully we won't all get burnt to a crisp.
The UV shouldn't be too bad today. I reckon it's April now, nearly.
Do you want to give us a figure of the UV index?
Yeah. Oh, don't have that off the top of my head.
Taking the stats, I could look it up, but we have definitely gone off track. I'm sorry about that, Dyson.
No, I think that's the way this hour was always going to go, because we're that far away from the club rooms that we're going to struggle to get a guest most of the day, but that's something we'll work with. And as we tick down towards game time, we might, once Bruce is ready and raring to go, we might have a break for a couple of minutes, just so we can all catch our breath before the start of the senior game. So proceedings, obviously the last post and the ode to go from about 2:40, and then the game's going to get underway at 2:50. We're tip maybe.
A Scoresby for mine.
I was hoping you'd drag that out a bit more than
Okay.
it's just a fill.
Yeah.
I probably should have given you this one.
Yeah, because I don't want to seem like the ball hog, so to speak. Got on a bit of roll of talking nonsense there for a second. But in terms of this game,
As usual.
the Scoresby look like they have the goals in ability to get the goals. They've had a good start to the season. Just going through my record books, they had a good win over Warrandyte, who won yesterday, and they did lose to South Belgrave by only 7 points last week.
But
so
led by 5 goals at three-quarter time.
Well, yeah, that's it. They're obviously more than competitive, so just by pure form lines, because it's very hard for us to know where exactly they're at. But conversely, Baronia, they scored 99 points but lost to Park Orchards. And in the second week, they lost to Sylvan, who went down comprehensively yesterday to Warrandyte. So if you've got form lines through Warrandyte, you'd have to say Scoresby's looking a bit better on today. So is that enough stretch for you?
Yeah, and you did actually mention that, and you've opened up a whole can of worms there in the fact that how much that Warrandyte Sylvan game yesterday, Sylvan were never in it, yet undefeated coming into the game. In any division now, outside of the top 3 in Division 1, and maybe a couple at the bottom of each of the other divisions, there's no real gauge on where any sides are at.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Vermont, Noble Park and Roval are all sitting undefeated on the... Vermont, Noble Park and Baldwin.
Yes.
Of course, don't forget Baldwin. Are all sitting on top of Division 1, and they seem to be leaps and bounds ahead. Vermont have had 200-plus point wins, but I mean,
what's happened? Sorry to break in.
Right.
What's happened to the seeded draw with Division 1?
It's still there.
So when it started, that all the top teams, was there an executive decision not to have all the top teams playing each other early?
Well, I think that's kind of what happened last year, and there's no perfect way to do it, and you know that they're going to play the same six sides twice anyway. But I think because what happened last year, as you said, the top 3 or 4 played each other at the start of the season, and then sort of with 4 or 5 weeks to go at the end of the season as well.
Yeah, before finals when they all met each other.
But I have actually looked at the draw. You look in Division 1, and I think Vermont and Noble Park and Baldwin and Vermont all play in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, so that one could be interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll get back to you. Sorry, preview. I just really got the seeded draw. I reckon that's what people look at in Division 1. How many times you play certain teams and what happens.
Who you play twice and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the same thing will happen in Division 3. Like a lot of people were saying that maybe Heathmont got an easy run early, but I don't think there's going to be any easy runs in Division 3 this year. It's going to be that open. There's probably going to be 7, 8, 9 teams, and depending on which team gets up here, it gets more and more intriguing as the weeks go on.
But you were saying that you can't really have a form line when it's only 2 rounds, or can you, Soupy?
Oh, you can't really. I mean, if one team is utterly dominant against sides that win their other game, I guess you can say they're going to be a top team. I think it's easy to pick the very best and probably the very worst, but at this stage, the midfield range, it's just impossible. If you can give me a confident prediction for today's game, then I think you're either ignorant or you're an absolute genius, because who knows what impacts Cooter's going to have, for instance. And
which one are you going to take there, Gav?
I'm wavering between the two. It just it goes in and out of those either.
Well, why Gav mulls on that? We might head to a short break. We finally got Giggles working on the laptop, so we'll take a short break here on EFL Game Day.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A, for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. a1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to efl.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices.
जिंदगी से लुत्फ अंदोज होते हुए
Świętować życie.
Го прославуваме животот.
Celebrating lives. Tobin Brothers Funerals speaks your language. At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they attend to every religion and culture and can speak 28 languages.
Celebrate la vie.
庆祝生命。
Yurtazuntas tizuyi.
Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating diversity as they celebrate lives.
Program sponsor.
Go live and local every Saturday for Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Can he bring the house down, Robbie? They go charging into Division 2.
Stutter step, now sends it on its way. This one's going to go long. And straight through, Jeff.
Pass. Gee, that was poetry in motion, to use the cliche.
Braden Cross, cometh the moment, cometh the man.
EFL Game Day, 1 through to 6 Saturdays on 98.1 Radio Eastern. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour. Lovely.
All set for a start here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. Both sides out on the ground. Just noticed Anthony Koutafidis in the brightest orange boots you've ever seen. Baronia yet to come out of the rooms as at this stage, but umpires on the ground. The crowd's still building in. There's plenty around the bar on the on the outer side near the Scoresby coaches box, as the call team starts to assemble for what is going to be an intriguing afternoon of Eastern Football League football. If you've just joined us, welcome out to Scoresby Recreation Reserve for EFL Game Day. Of course, on a Sunday, which is what we love early on in the season, a picturesque day, and what is set to be a great game between Scoresby and Baronia. Yesterday, of course, on EFL Game Day, it was Surrey Park kicking themselves out of it as Domvale managed to get up and win their third game in a row by 9 points. We may as well welcome in our special comments man for this afternoon. You heard him yesterday, you heard him this morning, and you'll hear him again this afternoon. A very good afternoon to Ray Baird.
Good afternoon, Dyson, and gee, what a tremendous day to be out here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. A huge crowd building, and Scoresby out on the ground, Baronia just coming out, but looking forward to this one, that's for sure.
Early tip before we go through all the formalities.
Okay, I'm going to go for Scoresby, just for the fact that Cooter's playing, and I think that he'll get him over the line.
How many does he kick, do you reckon?
Sorry?
How many does he kick, do you reckon?
5 will do. 5 will do.
Just a lazy 5?
Well, it's 4 more than Acker kicked yesterday. So.
Yeah, that's true. Apparently didn't have all that much of an impact. We were hearing from Davis Harrigan yesterday. I think he kicked one late and handed off a few, but wasn't all that impressive from all reports. Alas, it's all about Scoresby and Baronia, not necessarily about the guest player, but I'm sure that Anthony Koutafidis is going to have an impact on this ground. Interesting to note that Scoresby have finally updated their goalposts as well, which if you subscribe to the Matthew Richardson theory, the taller they are, the harder it's going to be to kick goals. Looks like
they've watered them from last year, and they just
sprouted
up a bit
up.
there. Nah. Dyson, a question for you. You know, how much impact does this play on say Baronia today, having a key player playing for the opposition? Is it something that the EFL have spoken about and are concerned about? Well,
we were sort of having this discussion before and saying that from a league point of view, it's not something that we love because it's going to affect the way this match goes. And, you know, if Scoresby happen to make finals by 4 points and this is the game that they won that they may not have, that went against the flow of the results, I think that's when it has an impact. For a club, it's really, like for Scoresby, you know, they'll get a couple of thousand people in here by the time the game gets underway. But other than that, I don't think it's great for the game. I go back to the Churnside Park Orchards game a couple of years ago when the 3 ex-Melbourne guys played. Churnside Park played them in an away game, which was, you know, obviously directly resulted as trying to win the game. But I don't know. What's your personal feeling on it, Ray?
Well, look, I think it's a thing that we just got to live with. I don't personally like it. I was against Favola last year, if you all remember, and I said so on air about Favola playing up at Donvale. But look, look, I see the bonuses of it, but I also see the minuses as well. And as I said, I think we just got to live with it now, because I think it's going to happen more and more as the seasons go by.
Both sides going through their final preparations before they make their way over in front of the club rooms to go through the formalities. Of course, Anzac Day weekend in the Eastern Football League. Plenty of great games, and hopefully the bugler or the buglist is as good as you saw yesterday, Ray.
Yeah, look, the one yesterday at Surrey Park, the young lass who did that, she was perfect. You know, I've heard a lot of those over the years at local football, and you get the odd note coming out here and there, but the young lass at Surrey Park yesterday was fantastic.
So Scoresby making their way over. Baronia on their way over as well. Grant, we might get your quick tip as both sides get in position.
I'll go for Scoresby by 15 points.
So both our call, or all our callers at the moment, considering it's going to be a pretty close encounter between the two sides. I reckon it's going to be much of the same. I'm tipping Scoresby to go over the line by a tick over 2 goals. So all getting set for a start. I think we're ticking almost down to game time, so we're going to run right to the schedule here. It's currently 20 minutes to. Expected a start time of 10 to 4. Sorry, 10 to 3. Getting a bit ahead of myself.
Okay.
Of course, I'll be in commentary this afternoon. Grant will be once again on stats. Ray again in special comments, and we'll welcome in our callers and boundary riders a little bit later on once we get the formalities, the ode and the last post played across Scoresby Recreation Reserve. Officials just getting set on the outside, on the other side of the ground.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Extra Reserve for this round 3 game between Scoresby and Baronia Football Club. On behalf of Scoresby Football Club, I'd like to thank you all for coming out, and I hope you have a wonderful day with family and friends and enjoy a great game of footy. I would like to now ask for all those who are able to be upstanding for the President of the RSL from Baronia branch, Mr. Rod Stumby.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
last post, and I think both sides will be ready and raring to go for this contest, Gav Casey.
It was sensational, that moment. Goosebumps. I don't know, did you feel that as
Certainly,
well?
yeah. It's and apologies for those listening at home. Unfortunately, our antennas, our cord along to the effects mic is actually working as an antenna, so we may pick up a few different stations along the course of the day. But unfortunately, that's the way it is, and I don't think it ruined what was a pretty special moment out here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve.
Yeah, definitely, and the silence that went with from the crowd was. I mean, every year we stand through this, but it's always fantastic when you get a moment like that.
Well, yeah, as you say, Gav, every year, you hear it again and again, and, as you say, it still puts goosebumps on the back of your neck, It's just something that you never forget.
Both sides getting in position, ready for this one. We're ready for it as well. It's going to be a cracking game. And if you're not here yet, you've still got plenty of time to come down. Of course, a late start. We're just about to get underway. It's almost 10 to 3. But still plenty of space right around the ground to come and join in the festivities.
Yeah, what's the crowd like, or what do you reckon the buzz is like, Ray?
Oh, look, the crowd's going to really get into this game, particularly if Kuta can get a couple of touches early. That's really going to set the crowd on fire. Look, although there's lots of neutral people here, there's lots of Scoresby people here, but gee, Baronia are also out in force as well. So, look, I'm just wondering, the matchup on Kuta, I think that Brendan Walsh will get him. I really do.
Well, we'll soon find out.
Well, he's definitely, is he in yellow boots?
He's down there in the yellow boots, Kuta.
You're not going to miss him if you didn't know what shape he was anyway.
I think Lake's gone to him.
Okay.
First up. Bit of a height mismatch and a bit of a size mismatch. I think he's giving away a few centimetres and maybe a few kegs as well, but alas, it's...
I mean, it's a massive back. He hasn't got a big back, broad shoulders.
Set to get underway here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. Ball up for the first time. Van Reenen gets the tap down. Haven't we heard that numerous times for the Scoresby Football Club? Of course, Reece Van Reenen back at Scoresby in season 2016, although... Baronia get the first clearance out of the middle. Good work from Dodd. Marks 60 out. Goes inside forward 50 with a darting pass. Although it's cut off on this occasion by Berthasell, who kicks short. Finds his target. Goldsworthy. A diving mark taken. Great work there on centre wing. Castledine. Kicks short once again. So working it up the outer side wing. And finding a teammate there in Dale Hare. So, trying to work it out here, just pushing the ball forward.
Who was it? Was it Walsh for Baronia who had his back to play looking at the pack, and it nearly hit him in the back leg as the ball dribbled along the ground. But a pretty humorous moment there.
Certainly was. Ball up once again, closing in on the Scoresby forward line. I reckon we may have a few number errors on the Scoresby team sheet, which is going to be fun to deal with. So, John, when you get a chance, if we can get you to potentially work those out, if you can go and see a team manager or something. This is these Anzac jumpers are a great idea, but unfortunately they've played havoc with us all weekend. As Hill marks on the outer side. I'm going to go with what we were given on Friday afternoon. Scoresby inside forward 50, darting ball there from Scanlon. And a bit of a contest ensues. About 35 out from the Scoresby goal. Umpire finally calls for it. We've gone 2 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And a little bit of a win, but not much going to the right where Scoresby are going to. But it's Baronia getting it out of defence.
Baronia clearing out once again up towards centre wing. Man came from the back. Umpire said it was over the shoulder, so it'll be a free kick going the way of Baronia. So, looking to work it towards the wing. Just held up right in front of the big crowd on the members' side here at Scoresby. Inside forward 50, it's a 4-on-1. The 4 will win out, but who will get there first? King, first to meet it. Hard up against the boundary line, goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Well tackled there by Callanan. So, about 30 round from the Baronia goal. Almost 3 minutes gone first term here on AFL Game Day. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour. Tap down. Scoresby will win out here, although pressure comes late. Costantino gets it away, meeting it first there. Great work there from Bolton. Struggled with it, but receives the ball once again. Plenty of work for Boronia to do. They've managed to control a fair bit of possession. They've just got to be a little bit more accurate with it now. Their boundary throw in true centre wing. I was going to say outer side, but we're on the outer side this afternoon.
Far outside.
Literally outside.
So the ball's been thrown back in. Boronia looking for the stoppage. They've got the free kick.
Welcome, Ben Warren-Smith, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Broadcast manager of the Eastern Football League.
Casterton got the handball off. Now the Hawks can surge forward. The kick's going long towards the King direction. He had 3 Magpies right on his hammer. Got the spoil. Ball hits the deck. Over the top of it there, Henderson. He couldn't release himself to get boot to ball. And we'll have a bounce 30 metres out from the Boronia goal line. So wasting no time. Van Reenen backpedaled it a little bit. That was okay. Phillips got the handball away. The Hawks kick it up towards the pocket. Standing strong. Goldsworthy couldn't quite pull the mark down, but he had some support. Now Scoresby can use this, residential side of the ground that we're sitting in today, and we're privileged for that. Handball off. Up towards the wing position. Getting down low, Mark Williams. He thought it was bread and butter, that one. He then played for the high free kick. He copped one on the scone, so we'll give that one to him. Was there. The contact was there. Should have actually taken the mark, though. Nonetheless, the ball goes inside forward 50. The first genuine chance here for Scoresby. Mopping up nicely there. McKernan got the handball away and might go for the 1-2. Henderson back to McKernan. This way, that way. Nice tackle. Goldsworthy to release the football, and over she goes. It's a free kick, actually, for holding the ball. And a good decision at that, too. Roberts takes it across the half-forward line. Switches it inside forward 50. It was a good kick. And getting down and taking a strong mark was Dale here. And he'll have a shot from about 40 metres out from goal.
Little Scoresby with a little bit more composure as that entry went into their forward line there. Though the chap who had it in that centre half forward there, he just lowered his eyes a bit and looked for a lead, and he got one.
And Cooter was on the trail of the lead, but he wasn't really in the scene. And I'll be interested for the week. Well, obviously Cooter watch a little bit, but what's he going to do? Kick it to me, mate. Does he know their names?
He comes in on the left boot. He kept it low and he kept it left too. So minor score is the result. That's the first on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've gone 5.5 minutes here in the first term, and it is Scoresby by a point.
So nice even start early on. As ball comes out, finds Burgess of the Harry variety. A couple of sets of brothers playing in this game this afternoon. Kicks out wide, finds Bolton. Bolton up the line. On a packed wing out on that outer side, finds Yusuf. Former Nunawading footballer inside forward 50. This looks promising. Short chip kick over the top, dangerous though. Krauzik able to recover. The evergreen Matty Krauzik. Costantino clears out of half-back, gives a handball away, Hicks, and now they move the footy up. That's a good passage of play. Now they can get it inside forward 50. Darting ball in the Koutafides direction. And it makes no mistake on that one, Anthony Koutafides' first touch of the afternoon.
And that kick came from Luke Scanlon there, boys.
I'm impressed that he was able to get down so low and pull it in. Look at the smile on Soupy's face.
Yeah. So, funny enough, Casterton was running all on his own in the pocket, but when you got Cooter, put it in front of him.
Camera's going to pretty much ride this one home. Can he put the first one on the board for the Scoresby Football Club this afternoon? Makes no mistake, that one's gone straight through the middle. Scoresby draw first blood in the shape of Anthony Koutafides, the big number 43. And that's a dagger in the heart for Carlton fans, kicking it in a Magpies jumper. Scoresby 1-1-7. Boronia yet to score. 7 minutes gone. You're listening to AFL Game Day.
As
Carlton
I said,
would be used to seeing players play for opposition teams, wouldn't they?
That's right. Look, as I said, look, great play by young Lucas Scanlon there, who passed the ball off to Cooter. You know, he lowered his eyes, and of course, you certainly answer the call when the big man calls out for it.
Yeah, and I wonder if what his fitness is like, because it is 120 minutes of running from the goal square, but good start so far for Cooter.
So the Hawks went forward for the first 5 minutes, and Scoresby have got the only 2 scoring shots on the board. The kick goes forward by Callan. Now for Boronia, it was chopped off across the half-back line there by Roberts. He released a handball to Hill over the top. The dribbling kick goes up towards the wing position. Now the Hawks have the numbers. Leeson got the handball off, and now they'll link up in the middle here. Here's Bolton, bounces up towards the half-forward line. Well, they've run here very well. Bolton will have a shot on goal and push it to the right-hand side this time, and through she goes. That's their first score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It took them 8 minutes to get that one behind, and they trailed by one straight kick. Scoresby 1-1-7.
Looking at that flag over there, BWS, on the pavilion over there, would you say that this end here is the scoring end?
Well, there's no doubt we'll get down to John to get a ground report very soon, but yes, to the naked eye, Ray, it's that's the way it's blowing.
So Scoresby slowly clearing out of defence. Just on defensive 50 at the moment. Short chip kick over the top, 2 meet it. 1 marks, and that one being Bardsley. Bardsley kicks long down the line. Nice mark over the back, and now they've got a bit of movement going forward. Good work here from Scanlon. Gets it inside forward 50. No one there to meet it though. And Baronia, plenty of numbers around the back. That was good work from Lake. Kicks over the top. Still plenty of numbers around for Scoresby. They just seem to be getting numbers to the ball. Red away. Good work there from Baronia. Tried to work it out. Van Reenen threw his body in there and almost threw the ball away. Didn't get caught up on that occasion though. Nice tackle laid by Youssef. Ball held up. And umpire's going to call for it here.
Clearance is 6-1 the way of Baronia. Inside 50s, 5-4 their way.
Interesting start to the match. Almost 9 minutes gone so far. Held up once again. Good work running through the middle of the ground. There was Hicks. Tried to get his handball away. Just trying to find a bit of space at the moment, Scoresby, with their disposal. Inside forward 50 once again. Numbers around the contest. It's a mark for Scoresby. And it looks like it could be Dale Hare. Of course, leader young gun.
Will he make the distance this time, Ray?
I think he might. Yeah, I think he might.
Signed with the Box Hill Hawks this year. Comes in now. Sends it on its way. Has he put 2 on the board? He has for the Scoresby Football Club. They're 2-1-13. 10 minutes gone first term. Baronia are 1 behind 1 point.
Certainly the start that Scoresby wanted to get some early goals on the board and just set the pattern of the play up for the rest of the quarter. But Baronia now, look, they've got to try. They've definitely got to get the next goal, Baronia.
So we've had a team sheet change with Nathan Bardsley wearing 14 for Scoresby. You'll pick that up through the broadcast. And what's the other change there, Dyson?
No, that's the only one. It was just a points issue with Anthony Kurtafidis.
Van Reenen got the, clear knockdown that time. Henderson goes after the football. There were no rovers at the middle of that bounce. And we'll come back in and do it all again, just inside the centre square here.
Ben, they're called midfielders these days.
Thanks, Ray. Good to see you keeping up with the times. Of course, it was your 21st birthday during Gallipoli.
That's
As
right.
the umpire throws it up now, hits the deck. Goldsworthy with a strong tackle. Good crowd as well. Sun shines out. What a great afternoon to be at the football. Plenty of time to get down here as well as the Hawks. Released now up towards the half-forward line. The kick wasn't a good one though. Giannopoulos.
The evergreen
speaking
Paul
of evergreen.
Giannopoulos, that's right. He's been around longer than I have, I think.
His name was on the veterans team sheet last year when they played in the grand final.
Yeah. Williams takes a mark. Another one up towards the wing position. Sends the ball inside forward 50. And the high flyer over the back there was Nathan Walsh for Baronia to see it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Only temporarily, might I say.
Yeah. Well, they tried to get him in after he'd played 6 senior games. You're either old or you're not.
Yeah.
You played under 17s for like 6 years.
Under 18s, mate.
And he took his kids with him.
Handball out. Phillips on the right boot. Kicks it up towards the wing position. Was the intended target there was for Burgess. Couldn't quite get it. Over the back there, King. He's going to mop up now for the Pies. Squares the kick to centre half back where the mark's been taken by Constantino. He'll go out towards the wing position where Scott Goldsworthy's getting a fair 25. Bit of the football and he's going in pretty hard so far in this term. I've been impressed, Ray.
Yeah. That player also, number 12 in the Scoresby, Ben, one of your favourites, Jesse Owen from Roval and Sylvan.
Yep, and you've mentioned Scanlon, so it's all about Roval for
No, I said
earlier.
Sylvan, mate. Come from Sylvan.
Over the back, top of the goal square. Well, it just was left for anybody to take, and Castledine will see a bounce in the goal square, Dice.
As far away as possible that you can get it, you hand it over. Beautiful. Thanks very much for that, Ben Warren Smith. Ball comes out the back. Quick kick off the bottom of the pack. That one's going to go long, strong, and out on the full. A kick there from Tom Sonse. Or Sonsi. A free kick going the way of Baronia deep in defence. He just Don't need to touch the screen, Ben. As we wait for the ball to be returned. Short chip kick finds its target in Casterton. Casterton to come to the outer side of the ground. Dangerous kick over the head there of Wright, and nicely marked there by Dandieso. Trying to push through. Numbers around the contest. Good tackle there from Van Reenen. Now picks up and gets his kick away. Castledine, plenty of numbers. Good work off the back of the pack there. Roberts, he's given away the free kick. Baroni to take the ball away through Callanan. Gives his handball away, and now they go towards the forward 50. Numbers around. Good work there from Owen. Put his body on the line. Now it comes back, so a bit of aerial ping-pong at the moment, but now plenty of space to work in. Castledine, short chip kick, and it's found its target. Couldn't take the mark. Umpires paid the free kick, though.
Because he fell all over him, the Baronia defender. He did the reach for the punch, and that was all good, but the opponent was just was underneath him as he just fell down with his knees following into over the top of him.
So it'll be Mark Williams to take the shot on goal.
Baronia, they're moving it well. They like to run it, but then they fatigue almost, and their kicks to the target are getting chopped off.
They turn it over on the second last line.
Directly in front, 25 out, and sprays it across to the right-hand side, through from one behind. 2-2-14 Scoresby. Baronia still one behind 1 point. Had a fair bit of the play, just can't put it on the scoreboard at the moment, and 14 minutes gone first term.
So Granlund brings the ball back in. Front spot there was wide. He took the mark, and they've gone again. They're moving the football pretty quickly here, Roble. They just need to do something across half forward. Otley kicks it inside forward 50. King. He had the back spot. There was two pies there. Little knockback there by Redaway back towards the King direction, and he couldn't pick the football up, and we'll have a bounce.
We are in the
neighbourhood.
neighbourhood.
You know it's Scoresby, bro.
What did I call it?
Roval.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
At least he didn't call him Hawthorne.
See what Ray does to me? DSO over the back. I'm blaming you, Ray, for this one as well. Just like everything else, Giannopoulos kicks it in towards the middle of the ground. Williams, I'll tell you what, he's putting his hand up for the player of the day, up towards a half-forward line, bouncing football, eventually seen over there by Brendan Walsh and Sean Bell.
Yeah, it's that half-forward. Either they don't have an option, or they just, with the Scoresby, have set up a bit of a wall. They've all got someone to just get in front of the next target, and that's serving Scoresby well.
Ball thrown in once again. Out the back of the pack, numbers favour Scoresby, although the handball was a bit rash, went to Leeson. And now a chance to play on through advantage. Dangerous position, trying to work in a phone booth, getting the handball away. Callanan got it away, found Bolton. Bolton has to work around one, now kicks inside forward 50, dangerous kick. 2-on-1 in favour of Scoresby. It looks like the one's going to win out here. Great work from the Baronia forwards.
Nice mark.
Beautiful mark taken there by Redaway. And he can line up from 25 out to put the first on the board for the Hawks.
A very strong mark there by Redaway. The defender was right on him, but he just hung on to it.
Are they playing an extra man in defence, Scores? Because a number of times we've seen a 2-on-1 situation happen whilst they've gone forward.
Or they've got a midfielder dropping back every time.
So Redaway wastes no time. Flashy yellow boots. Can he put the first one on the board for the Hawks? It's going to go long to the line and straight through the middle. And Baronia hit back. It took 16 minutes, but they have their first goal on the board. Baronia 1-1-7, Scoresby 2-2-14. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. You're listening to EFL Game Day around the state, around the country, and around the world.
Marks inside 50 is going to be important today for Baronia. They just got to hit that last short pass. They've had the opportunities to hit up a man, but they found it hard. But what a strong grip and mark there by Redaway.
He's had a bit of the football also, so good signs. Really good crowd out here. We're hoping it's a spectacle. I did it again, a spectacle. Because it is a standalone game. It comes up. Redaway might be able to get two in a minute. Off the ground, soccer skills. He just pushed it to the left.
Pick it up.
Just bounced at the wrong moment, up a little bit too high, and caught more the knee than the toe. And through it goes. Minor score, 1-2-8 Baronia. Trailed by one straight kick, 17 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Scoresby 2-2-14.
You're right, Dyson. If he picked it up, he still would have been able to get it to his foot before the guy tackled him. And even if he was tackled from 3 metres out, you're not going to miss.
Thought he was Cyril, I think.
Well, ball comes out towards the half-back line. Henderson went up and nearly pulled down an absolute ripper mark. Went after it again, so good second effort. Sees the ball just outside the centre square. Half forward line for Baronia. Henderson over the back, knocked it down. Boxall couldn't trap the football. Little swinging kick around the body. Jess Bolton marks it about, well, he'll kick from about 47, 48, but we know he's a great user of the football, and distance probably shouldn't be a problem here.
Baronia on top in the clearances, leading at 10-5, and they've won all 4 centre clearances.
That surprises me, Soupy, because Van Reenen seems to be getting the knockout, but the midfielders aren't taking advantage.
Jess Bolton from just inside the paint of the 50. That is a magnificent kick off the boot. The goal umpire just did a nice little turn backwards and gave the 2-finger salute. They've got 2 on the board in the last couple of minutes, and this game is all square out here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. 2-2, 14 apiece, almost into time on in the first term.
Yeah, 2 quick goals there towards the end of the quarter. And Jess Bolton, look, he's been a great player for Baronia over the last, well, a lot of years he's been there, but he's still got everything that it takes.
So, ball back in the middle once again. As happens in football, funny that.
Loose man in defence for the Magpies. He's patrolling half back, and he's just looking for the play all ahead of him.
Interesting. So, Baronia once again get the clearance, this time through McKernan. Now they can move it quickly. Callanan inside forward 50. Deep in defence for Scoresby. Pressure's on Owen. Handball away, finds its target there in Boxall. Now they can work it through the members' side.
So Scott Goldsworthy is trying to play loose, but Casterton's onto that and has pushed himself to centre forward and just said, no, you're going to have to man me up if you're going to play deeper.
I don't mind it. It's an extra option nonetheless. Ball thrown in once again. True centre wing. Krawczyk patrolling. He won't get it this time. It's seen over the line by Duncan. So almost 20 minutes played, first term. Almost into time on. 2-2, 14 apiece. Each of 2 between Scoresby and Baronia. Of course, listening to AFL Game Day, Van Reenen just muscled his opponent out of the way, as we've seen his brother do numerous times. I actually saw Luke Van Reenen patrolling, so good to see a few former Scoresby faces out and about. Back at the club once again.
Having a can.
Or 3.
A quarter.
Of course, a brewery fresh Carlton draft. Back on board this year, which is great to see as Scoresby go forward once again. Nice work to push out. Unlucky not to give away the free kick. Inside forward 50 in the Cooter. Directed, but what a fly. I think it's Dale Hare.
It is.
What a great mark, running back with the fly.
What a term he's having.
And he can have 2 before the stroke of quarter time. And just when the tide started to turn Baronia's way, Scoresby through Hare can put his second on the board, his side's third, and makes no mistake from point-blank range. Scoresby have 3, 3-2-20, Baronia 2-2, 14, 20 and a half minutes gone.
Yeah, Hare, well, he called it perfectly there, Dyson. He swiveled, and the vertical leap there was just magnificent. And I think the Baronia defenders were all in shock. They probably didn't expect him to leap as high as he did. But just the transition, Scoresby just moved it from the wing there nice and quickly, and it catches the Baronia defence out there.
So just waiting for a restart here. 21 minutes gone. Home side have a 6-point lead. Van Reenen won the knockout that time against Henderson, went after it again. So the ruckman doing a bit of their own work. Oh, Bolton, that was clever. Knocked it on Henderson, back into the Bolton direction, tried to pick it up and drive it forward, but Scoresby had the numbers. Kick up towards the half-forward line now. The kick was looking for D'Esso. It bounced away from him. He might be able to go after it again, the big man, but chopped off nicely there by Granlund. Got the handball away. Now the Hawks can surge forward. It's good end-to-end football at the moment. Almost looked like a push in the back there. Inside forward 50. Getting down low, Callanan. Can he get boot to ball? Can he get perfect curl? Oh, that's an absolute ripper. An inside out torpedo on the left. You don't get much better than that. That is a cracking goal by Zach Callanan, and the Hawks, they've opened up a 2-goal lead once again.
And that is a candidate for the goal of the day, BWS, no doubt about that.
I'm sure we'll find an award for him during the week. Unfortunate that it's happened on a Sunday broadcast, because he was getting a pillow for that.
Without and so he's missing out on sleeping on a cloud. So, but I tell you what, we're still going to have goal of the day, mate, and he's certainly leading that as a contender. You just get the kudos for having goal of the day.
And now he's walking on sunshine.
Instead of I would say, oh dear, Gav.
I thought it was some of my best work, but anyway.
Van Renen got the tap down. Duncan
That's
rode
the
ball.
problem. Sorry, Dyson.
Just looking at where our cameraman's operated, that one's going to be lovely on the stream, so make sure you rewind back and watch that one again because that's a great goal. Ball goes up forward for Scoresby. It's a 2-on-1 situation in favour of the Hawks. They're going to try and work it out here through Bell. Couldn't get a clean disposal. Numbers
Nice
around
tackle,
the contest.
Krosick.
Great work there from Krosick. Gets it away, Hicks. Now he gets the kick inside forward 50 in the Kuna Defeaty's direction. Ball goes over the back. Hare was first to meet it, although they're cutting it off nicely. There was Bell. Baronia now to the the commentary side. We're on the opposite side again. Up towards the members' side wing. Numbers here with Baronia. Hard up against the boundary line, though. Red away. And I think it's just gone over the line. Umpire's called for a ball up right in front of the Baronia coach's box.
What's the inside 50s now, Soupy?
It's Baronia 14, Scoresby 11.
All thanks to Tuesday. And Van Renen just punches that one back over the line, so we'll have yet another stoppage.
We're choosing tap this afternoon, Dyson.
We certainly are.
Residents.
It does feel like Baronia have had the territorial advantage as well in the last 10 minutes. They might have been slow to settle just with their kicks, but now they're sort of working their way beautifully into the contest.
So trying to work it out of the contest, a bit of an even number again, but Scoresby get it away up towards half forward. Numbers here with Baronia again, so that extra man just playing havoc with both back lines as Walsh gets it. Finds Lake. Lake kicks to the outer side. Dangerous positioning here for Phillips. If he mucked it up, which he did. Numbers now with Scoresby. Kick over the back of the head there from Scanlon, I think it was. Hard up against the goal line. Pressure time here for Baronia. I think they've managed to just get it over the goal line. And is it going to be paid deliberate?
No, it came off his foot when he was pushed over.
There we go. So
Oh, you're kidding me.
the unluckiest of events, and it will result in a free kick and a set shot on goal for Scoresby. Get our cameraman to work out where the player is. Thanks very much, John. Castledine.
Work experience kid, is it?
It's far enough away as it is. So Castledine from the impossible angle. Goes with the Boonana and makes it count. The fourth on the board for the Scoresby Football Club. They're 4-2-26. Baronia 3-2-20. 25 minutes gone here in the first term on AFL Game Day.
They're often going, Baronia, and it just shows you just can't drop the ball and in the defence because all your structure is gone. They're often racing with you, your teammates, and it was all Scoresby just to set up that score after he just dropped the mark unattended.
25 minutes gone here in the first term. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. Paya throws the ball back up now. We'll give that another one there to Van Reen and Soupy, but scooped upon by Callanan for Baronia, hasn't he? Had some sort of first term. Chopped off there by Constantino on the left boot. Drives it up towards the coach's box. Bouncing football. Was looking for Hicks. It might just stay alive here. A little handball over the back. That's okay. Leeson for the Hawks. Short passes on. Burgess. Pye still calling play on here. They'll get a chance to go through the middle. Another dispossession of the football. Good umpiring there. Walsh slapped the ball out. Crawsey got the handball away. Chopped off there by Hill. He tried to keep the ball alive. Diving in over the top box, or might have given away a free kick for in the back here to Roeville.
A bit of push and shove getting on about the start, I reckon.
Casterton, well, he got dumped and fell on, so he'll receive the free kick.
It was nice and tight there, Ben, wasn't it? You don't want to be tough in those circumstances.
I was right in front of the faithful. Everybody getting right amongst it. Short passes on. Kick was a shocker too. Hill just chopped it off, and speaking about being in front of the faithful, they absolutely love that. As he goes inside forward 50, the big fly over the back there. Koutafidis couldn't pull it down. The clearing kick went nowhere in the end, and now Scoresby have another chance to go forward. High ball inside the forward arc now, bouncing away here. Was in there, snap around the body there by Williams. Will it go all the way? Kouta got a knock on it. Over she goes. Boundary doesn't beat the football though, because Lape's able to mop up now for Baronia. Across the half back line, got a lot of purchase on the football. Will it stay alive? Bouncing over she goes for a boundary throwing. Bardsley was right on its hammer. True centre wing position. It's a 6-point ball game, and Scoresby have the lead. 4-2-26. Baronia 3-2-20.
Has Kouta got a rubber band to the goal square, to the goal post? He hasn't gone 1 to 2 far away, about 30-metre arc so far.
Good tap down there by Bardsley. Gets it away. Nice work off the back of the pack. Duncan held up in a great tackle. Good tackle there from White. So true centre wing. 27 minutes gone. Can't be too much longer left in the quarter. Van Reen got the tap down. Duncan was running through. Went without it. Now a chance for Baronia to respond, but seeing it over the boundary line there was McKernan. Soupy, any of the stats starting to betray one way or the other?
Not particularly at this stage. It's just the clearance is 12-11 now Baronia's way, but they've still win the centre clearances 6-2.
Still a pretty even contest. This one's going to help. Bolton gets it away. Can go inside forward 50 now. Ugly grubber kick. Won't find a target though. Plenty of numbers around here as they all pile on. Goldsworthy tried to get it away. Good kick off the bottom of the pack there. Owen got it away to Castledine, who was under a lot of pressure. And a free kick going the way of Baronia. Advantage called. And numbers here with the Hawks if the ball bounces correct for Leeson. Just got it over the top, looking for red away. Kick went a little bit too far. Now numbers coming the other way for Scoresby.
Paul Pillai.
And that one's going to go deep, too deep, and out of bounds on the full. So a free kick once again going the way of Baronia.
And have to be so cute at half forward. It's like they're walking into a roadblock and they don't know what to do, and they're kicking it around the corner, and there's the quarter time siren.
So quarter time here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve, and a good start by both clubs. No side able to gain too much ascendancy as yet. 4-2-26 Scoresby, 3-2-20 Baronia. Major goal kickers on the day. Hare has 2, Castledine and Koutafides with 1, and all singles for Baronia. Redaway, Callanan, Bolton, and no, they've only kicked 3. Of course.
That would be all.
You're listening to EFL Game Day, whether you're listening on 98.1 FM or streaming it live at efl.org.au. Thanks for your company. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, man. I've got some weekend goals. First, wake up around lunchtime. Second, go to the Pancake Parlour and get one of their traditional breakfasts because it's served till 5 p.m. every day.
Gotta go to Pancake Parlour for your weekend goals. Yeah, what else?
And then when I'm all full,
yeah, like in your belly,
just sit on the couch and watch me team kick some winning goals.
Bang, goal!
Oh, Pancake Parlour's weekend goals.
Up and about and lovely.
Program sponsor.
Barry was a great guy, a real larrikin. He loved his footy, was a loyal Carlton supporter. This year's our year, he'd say. He always had Slim Dusty blaring through the speakers. So, at Barry's send-off, his coffin was painted navy blue, and Slim Dusty's looking forward, looking back filled the room.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, their motto is, if it's legal, it's possible. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au. A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Locations all around Melbourne and country Victoria. Or shop online 24/7 for mattresses, bases, beds, pillows, and custom-sized mattresses at chiropedic.net.au.
Go live and local every Saturday for Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Can he bring the house down, Robbie?
stutter step. Now sends it on its way. This one's going to go long. And straight through, Jeff.
Pass. Gee, that was poetry in motion, to use the cliche.
Braden Croft, cometh the moment, cometh the man.
EFL Game Day, 1 through to 6 Saturdays on 98.1 Radio Eastern. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour.
Welcome back to Scoresby Recreation Reserve. I'll turn my own mic on at one point or another. Welcome back to EFL Game Day. As we mentioned before the break, Scoresby 4-2-26, leading Baronia 3-2-20. Pretty even in the stats, all thanks to Choose Tap. Grant Campbell.
Yeah, it is for the most part. Clearances ended up being 13-11 the way of Baronia. Out of the centre, it was 6-2 in favour of Baronia. They won the first 5. Scoresby have 54 kicks to 47. Baronia with 30 handballs to Scoresby the 25. Virtually nothing in it in the contested and uncontested possessions. Baronia with 15 inside 50s to 14. The intercept marks probably the only other notable difference. Scoresby with 6, Baronia with 2. I think a lot of those turnovers coming when Baronia went forward inside 50. They need to improve that sort of efficiency, I think, if they're going to win today.
Definitely, and we're going to stop calling Baronia Roval soon.
We've been picked up by it from a couple of people listening and tuning in, both on the stream and on through 98.1 as well, so we will get it right eventually, but it is, of course, Scoresby and Baronia, and it's currently a 6-point lead in favour of the Magpies.
Yep, boundary.
We'll cross boundary side. If you can come over a little bit closer if possible.
Boundary.
John, crossing boundary side, thanks for chiropractic betting.
Yeah, down here at the ground, we've got Coach Brett. Can you just tell us a bit, up by a goal, what's planned for this quarter?
Oh, just keep going the way we're going. We just need to use the footy a little bit better moving forward. That's all. I mean, there's a couple of times we've given 2 inside the contest, given up, but just had our pants full. Clearance in the centre there, clearances was zip 7 there away, so we clean. Yeah, times, yeah. You just understand the situation.
If possible, we might get you to come a bit closer.
Just a little bit better at it.
John?
All right, thanks a lot, Brent.
All right, bro, beautiful. Thank you very much to Brent King for giving up his time, just for future reference. John, if you can come just a tad closer. I think what Brent King was trying to say is that they weren't overly weren't unimpressed with what happened, but they can tidy up a few things at quarter time.
Not always easy telling a coach who's running off towards his coaching bench to come the other way.
But the other thing we did hear him mention, there's zipping 7 from the centre clearances, so there's obviously something in that. Did you get the same stats there, Soupy?
No, it's 6-2. There's 7 goals being kicked, so there would have been 8 centre clearances. So he's missed one, and we debate, argue about whether the other one was Scoresby's or Baronia's.
34-point lead in favour of GWS over St Kilda.
Not a good week for BWS.
It's been...
Okay.
Had a good weekend, thank you very much.
Stand in the shade, mate.
Did you hear EFL Sunday this morning, Soupy?
Nah, I was sleeping in.
Yeah. First show you haven't been on all year, and we'd have to call it the best, wouldn't you, Ray?
The best one we've had all year, mate.
We could have done with the extra hand, but yeah, sleep in, that's fine.
Firing shots across the bow as usual, these 2, or these 3, these 4. Certainly no punches pulled in this team this afternoon.
He would have only gotten our way anyway, wouldn't he, Gav?
That's true. Got enough to be said.
They're just waiting for the ground to clear. There's about 40 kids around Kurtafidis at the moment.
No, I've said...
That's how Barodi is going to beat him.
No, I've said Roval...
Numbers to the ball.
No, I've said Roval a couple of times, and I promise I won't do it again. And if I do, I'll be donating $10 to the Anzacs every time I say it. But I promise I will not do it again. I know Baronia is playing Scoresby.
Oh, when it comes to money, you won't do it. Giving money away, that's for sure.
Start of the second term here as we get back on track on AFL Game Day. Van Reenen wins a tap down again. Nice work there, though, from Henderson to kill it at ground level. A secondary ball up in shoes. And at this time, Henderson gets it away, although Scoresby look like they're going to go forward. Nice work out the back of the pack. White was first to meet it. Baronia to get the first inside forward 50 of this second term. Can they make the most of it? Bolton got there, overran it. Callanan in there as well. Nice work over the back. Tried to get it away. Numbers here on the outer side with Scoresby. Bouncing ball. Looks like Goldsworthy. Chip kick down the line looking for Williams. And he just tries to punch it along as he's met with a bit of pressure. Good work there from Duncan. Picks up, now kicks towards the forward 50. Hare couldn't grab it. Numbers came late. Good work off the back of the pack there. Castledine goes inside forward 50. Back with a fly to the ball. A couple of numbers. Kurtafidis tackled, held it. Tried to get it away, couldn't do so. Hicks wrapped
720.
around 4 times, and the umpire still didn't call him for holding the ball. Hare was taken over the top of the neck. Umpire said no.
He's not going to give Scoresby a free kick after that one, I reckon.
The old evener up runner.
Yep, 2 mistakes makes it right.
So ball up 25 metres out from the Scoresby goal.
In umpiring terms.
Tapped down there by DSO. Of course, a former Ferntree Gully player. Off the back, McKernan. And now Barona away on the members' side of the ground.
Callanan drives it up towards half forward. The kick was low and hard, but it was chopped off. So another chance for the Pies to regroup and send the ball up towards the Williams direction. Knocked away from him by Walsh. Will it stay alive there for Nathan Walsh? 2 Walsh boys working together there. Over she goes, half forward line.
GWS by 46.
26 plays 20 here. Scoresby have the lead. Van Reenen. A little bit of holding going on in the ruck. Knocked it away. Scooped upon there by McKernan. Got boot to ball up towards half-back. And, well, it was a good mark taken in the end. Driving kick up towards the wing. Got the numbers there. Bolton got the handball off. The old 1-2 sends the ball inside forward. 50. Big fly over the back. The Scoresby backs always seem to have working numbers quite well. Picked up there by King. Snaps around the body up towards the half-back line. Knocked away. They've got the numbers at the fall. Here's Hill linked up with a nice-looking handball there with Hicks. Don't know what the crowd's giving the Bronx cheers for over there, but there's been an intercept in the middle, and the umpire's blown his whistle, and it will be a free kick to Scoresby. Eventually, it was said that play could go on as the driving kick goes forward. Walsh dropped what he should have taken. Little handball over the back. He had support there in Sean Bell in the back pocket. Up towards the half-back line. Sloppy possessions by both sides here. Burgess probably could have gone a little bit harder, and that stays away now for Scoresby. Kick goes up into the top of the goal square where Hare tried to use his body. He couldn't get the front spot. Cooter was in there, and Lake knocks it over for a boundary throw-in.
It's interesting how it's almost like they're waiting for the error, then accounting for it a bit, even going for the marks. Lethargic effort there by Burgess.
Right in front of us here, DSO has the front spot. Knocked it straight down the throat though of McKernan, and he just bolted away here. Kicks it in towards the middle of the ground, and the kick wasn't great either. And they'll have another chance to go forward. Scoresby driving, kick up towards the half forward line. Bouncing football, couldn't trap it there was Granlund, goes in after it again. Handball over the top there. Walsh had a bit of the football in the last minute or so. So has McKernan. Swings around on the left. Getting down low there was Wright. Knocks it over the top there, and now Burgess can run away with the football up towards the wing position. It was a scrambly kick looking for Bolton. And once again, now it'll be Scoresby to go forward. This is good end-to-end play from both sides here, creating opportunities. Williams comes out and takes another mark. I'd be interested to see how many marks he's taken already in this game. It's got to be up towards the 6 or 7 mark, and he'll go back and have a shot on goal. Most of what he's taken has been a little bit further out, so he'll kick it to the top of the goal square. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Bouncing football over the back, and it's bounced through. That's some great shepherding there in the goal square by Big Dan Diesso, and brilliant play to play there on a 2-on-1 situation. Williams kicked straight, and his first on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 12 points the margin, 4.5 minutes into the second term.
Mark Williams.
Oh, Mark Williams.
Oh, okay.
We can still hear you.
You know when you talk with your microphone. if I whisper, they won't hear me.
Yeah, Mark Williams definitely kicked it, and that was It's interesting how the umpire adjudicates those sort of contests near the goal line, the push versus the shepherd. It's always a tricky one for an umpire.
So clearance comes out for Scoresby, although numbers around the back for Baronia and Walsh. Gives his handball away, finds a teammate in Phillips. Geez, they look small out there, Baronia. A couple of pocket rockets, or the rat pack, as they're called in some sides. Interesting, though. Ball goes out of bounds over the boundary line in front of Walsh.
He gets a free kick, pushed after it went out of bounds.
So Baronia regain possession deep in defence. Short chip kick this time finds Callanan. Callanan now kicks up the line looking for a target. Won't find one. I've had a lot of the play lately is Duncan.
That half-back line, though, Dyson, of Scoresby, they've been real solid.
Repelling everything at the moment as Diesso just sends that big booty up towards the contest and manages to try and punch it away. Williams almost intercepted the handball. Couldn't do it. Granlund with a kick down the line. His intended target there was Redaway. Running to it as well, there was King. Still numbers around for Scoresby, as you mentioned, Ray, just repelling everything. And it comes back to in favour of Scoresby. Sonsei gives away, finds Duncan. Inside forward 50. Good work here from Boxall. Under a lot of pressure, and Baronia will regain possession once again. So just being played in between the 250 arcs at the moment, although here we go. Plenty of numbers around. The whole Baronia bench calling for holding the ball. They'll get it. And I think it'll be Josh King to take the free kick.
Lucky, because every time they've got a break, Baronia, they just fumble it, or they just can't hit up a target. They're really struggling off half back to get it past half forward. They've probably almost got to keep it in hand and run if they can, because the wall is just impenetrable at the moment so far.
Impenetrable.
Yeah, I sort of got it quickly and through.
Callanan on the right boot sends it forward over the top there of Geraghty's head. Kick goes forward, but it never looked good off the boot. It was rushed and it goes through for one behind. 6.5 minutes going on 7 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Second term out here. 11 points is the margin. Scoresby have the lead. Cooter has 1. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe. EFL.org.au with Scoresby to bring the ball back in. It was all in a bit in slow motion there with Bardsley. Couldn't pick it up. Good tackle there by Van Reenen. What's the umpire paid here? A little bit too high, perhaps. Yusuf gave the football back, and now the Hawks through the middle of the ground. Mark's been taken there by Henderson. Big man. Great player. It's a beautiful looking kick. It was a driving ball, and standing strong and taking the mark was Jesse Owen, who'll go backwards here. Now Scoresby using the member side of the ground to create their play. Castledine just taking his time a bit there, sends it up towards the wing position. Big fly there over the back from Walsh, knocked it away, but at the fall of the ball it's Scoresby, straight through the arms there of Granlund, who went after it again. He did well, he got the handball away. It might have even been deemed a throw, or he's been slung after it. Yep. Geez, that was there was almost a 4-on-1 situation going there, although the kick did go forward where Lake had a bit of a sit. They're get out of that nicely there, Baronia.
It was almost, it's one of those new rules that's come in, you can't over-tackle, and the sling got penalised. But does that make sense?
Yeah,
Is that what the free kick was for?
Granlund got the ham away to Phillips, inside forward 50, the Hawks go now. That was good play. They went straight down the guts, and the mark's been taken by Tom Dodd, and he'll have a shot from about 45 metres out. Pretty difficult angle, but he'll back himself in from here.
That breeze has died off, though, completely.
And it looks like Cooter's going off the ground, boys, over there. Having a rest.
11 points is the margin. Be very handy for Baronia to snag this one back. It's been a while between drinks. As he comes in now, it's a good-looking kick off the boot by Dodd. It goes sailing over the goal umpire's head, and that's his first. Baronia have 4 individual goal kickers, but they're still trailing by 5 points. Second term out here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 5-2-32 to 4-3-27.
And they had time that time to hit up a player who was on the open, and Baronia, they've either got to slow it down going forward or the opposite in effect, quicken it up. And it hasn't worked trying to run it and get on the counter-attack. So maybe once they get to the wing, they might have to slow down and be more purposeful in looking for an option.
Getting the numbers away there was Hicks as he got his handball away. Now Scoresby can move forward. I think it's a chance now for Baronia to work out. Good work there from Bell over the back. Go big kick away to Walsh. Marks it now, kicks into the centre of the ground. Dangerous position. Good work. Use of the boot there from Bolton. Although he's turned it over and now it's going to come back the same way. Intercepted once again. Nice. And White can get through. Kick up towards half forward. Mark wasn't taken. Numbers around the contest probably favour Scoresby. In and under at the bottom of the pack that time was Boxall. So to Owen, held up. And the ball's going to go nowhere after that. So 45 round. Right in front of those lovely looking Westfield Footy Show and Footy EFL signs on the on a packed clubroom side of the ground. Duncan tried to get his handball away, did so late, Goldsworthy. Now the kick comes up from Scoresby. That one's going to go well wide, too wide in fact, and a free kick going the way of the Hawks. We're out of bounds on the full. So it'll be McKernan to take possession of this one, looking for an option. Kick short down the line, right in front of the Scoresby coach's box. Finds his target. It's Yusuf. Yusuf again, short down the line.
So this is much better. They know the wall's there. You've got to work around it.
It's been repelled for the last quarter and a half, and now they've finally worked out that a slow transition inside forward 50 may be the answer, and they may have it here. Kick call falls over the back. Nice work to try and push it away was Porpillo. I butchered that one as bad as I think I did, Ben.
Poor Pillow, I've got it as.
His parents certainly think so.
And alas, 50 metres out from the Baronia goal, we're going to have a ball up. Back of the pack, good work there from Yusuf. Duncan got his handball away, too hot for Castle Ryan, and it goes out of bounds. So we'll have yet another boundary throw-in. Choose tap match stats, thanks to Grant Tamble and Yarra Valley Water.
Inside 50s, 9-8, Scoresby's way. They've taken 5 intercept marks to 0, so Baronia already conceded 11 intercept marks for the game so far.
Free kick paid off the ball going the way of Henderson. Anyone say that one?
No.
It was just a little bit of a jab. Now short chip kick, inside forward 50, looking for a target, won't find it. Now numbers with Scoresby, they can try and get it out again. Handball wasn't all that flash. Redaway was first to meet it. Got caught under a lot of pressure. Plenty of Magpies jumpers in the area. And going to lock it down on this occasion. A 5-point lead here on AFL Game Day. 12 minutes gone. Second term, Scoresby 5-2-32. Baronia 4-3-27.
Wonder if John can find out if what's happening with Anthony Koutafidis. It's the chiropractic betting.
He might be using a chiropractic
betting.
It's almost going to just triple over that.
Henderson once again receives a free kick, and he's been asked to bring it back.
Over his mark.
Nice barrel return.
Just more TV time for the umpire.
That's what they love, isn't it?
So Henderson, just beyond range. It's a fair way out still, about 65 metres. They'll have an opportunity to kick it to the hot spot though, trailing by 5 points. Kick goes inside forward 50. The fall of the ball, nicely done there. Granlund swings around on the left, and up and under kick. It's still about 20 metres out. A huge fly there by Yusuf. Couldn't pull it. Great tackle at the last line of defence by Ashley King to force the release of the football. And we'll have a bounce only about 5 or so metres out from the Scoresby goal line. From the Baronia goal line, I should say. It's,
not the Roval goal line?
That's a fine to you, $10.
A donation.
Scott Duncan, on top of all the other ones, of course, comes out now. Little handball there from Duncan. Someone got the Bronx cheers over there as the mark's rushed out. Braden White takes the mark. Handball backwards, it was risky. Getting a bit of the football, McKernan this way, that way, sends the ball into the forward pocket. Nice. Big fly and a great mark taken there by Matty Garrity, and he'll have a shot on goal about 35 metres out. It's a difficult angle, but a chance to give the Hawks the lead for the first time today.
He could almost not see the forest from the trees. It was that packed, and he decided, I'll do a circle, allow the man to come at me, buy myself some time.
He's missed.
He had a shot on goal. And through for one behind.
So there's not a player on the other half at the moment.
32 plays 28, 14 and a half minutes gone here in the second term.
Duncan to do the kick-out duties. And a great mark taken there by his target in Hicks. 50 out from defensive goal, kicks short once again, finds Duncan. So doing a lot of work in this second term. Now he just assesses his options, decides to kick wide, and it finds his target there. Castledine now kicks up towards Hill. Hill 60 out from his attacking goal, Porpilai. Plays on, kicks to the top of the goal square. A lot of numbers there, not much height, but Hare, has he brought it down? Umpire called play on. I reckon he's pretty stiff there. And umpire calls for the ball.
It would have been good to see Cooter then. Maybe he's checking the fine print of the contract.
So ball to be thrown up 10 metres out from the Scoresby goal. Tap down, good work there from Wright, kills it and gets it away, although his kick wasn't all that flash and only found Hicks for the Magpies. Man on the mark's probably right on 50. Doesn't look confident, just pops it to the top of the goal square. Hair to fly over the back. Does it mark? Swooping on this one. Beautiful with Sonsi. And he's missed to the near side. Through for one behind. So Scoresby move on to 5-3-33. Baronia 4-4-28. 16 minutes gone here in the second term on AFL Game Day. All thanks, of course, to the Pancake Parlour.
It is lovely, as was this kick in from Granlund. A big fly over the back. Goldsworthy brought the ball to ground, rushed over the boundary line and out of bounds on the full in the end. So chance for Scoresby to send the ball deep.
Instead of picking it up with his hands, he kicked it off the ground, unfortunately.
And Gav, Cooter's looking at the heat policy part of that contract out there.
He said, I've signed for this many minutes.
Didn't count on this weather out in the eastern suburbs.
Till about 60 metres out from goal. Krawczyk, the big fly, and a big mark too. The skipper will go back and have a shot on goal from about 45 out, directly in front. He only had eyes for the football.
Suggested a couple of weeks ago that he might want to join the media team when he retires from playing football, which based on that mark might be a little while away.
He loves the Twitter, MJ Craws. Come in now. He'd love to celebrate a goal. That's a good-looking kick purchase-wise. Thanks, Captain Obvious. It went through for one behind to the right-hand side. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 17.5 minutes gone. 5-4-34. Plays 4-4-28.
He went down with the Concord, Captain Obvious.
So, ball on the outer side.
Whatever that boat was in Italy.
The Costa Concordia.
That's it.
The Concorde also went down, but in a very different fashion. And Baroni try and clear out a defence. Not great, though. Swooping on it was Sonse. Gives the handball over to Hare in space, running into an open goal and sends it straight through the middle for goal number 3. His side 6th. And they just open up a little slight edge on the Hawks at the moment. Scoresby 6-4-40, Baronia 4-4-28. 18 minutes gone, second term EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour.
When you bring it back into the corridor and you make a mistake like that where the ball's smothered, it can be so costly.
Watched it completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the first time either, is it, for Baronia? They're practically shooting themselves in the foot here because maybe on stats they might be ahead of the game in all other parts but the scoreboard.
Inside 50 this quarter, Scoresby lead now 13-11. Baronia have had 36 kicks, Scoresby 33.
Krawczyk looked like he might have got it slung a little bit as he tried to get the handball away. Kicked the last goal, had the last shot on goal from a set shot for Scoresby. Saved that okay as it came out towards our forward line. Short passes on, Duncan's there. And we've called him a fair bit in this first half of football. Scotty Duncan. Looking forward, but distance might just be beyond him here. So the kick goes and the big fly over the back, and the mark has been taken by Hare. And I tell you what, he's a lean type, isn't he, Ray Baird? But he's got no fear whatsoever, and he'll put through his fourth. There's no doubt about this.
And he takes a great grab overhead, as we just saw then.
Putting his hand up for the Trojan Tools Player of the Day. That's our award this afternoon. So Dale Hare, this should just be bread and butter. Straight over the goal umpire's head. Scoresby stretched their lead to 3 straight kicks out here. Almost into time on in this second term. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 7-7-46. Scoresby, Baronia 4-4-28.
Played 2 games with the Box Hill Hawks reserve this season, has Dale Hare. Last year he played 18 games and kicked 48 goals. Was named in the best 10 times for the Magpies. Of course, the Division 1 and 2 leader Trojan Young Gun last year. Of course, it's the leader Young Gun in season 2016. So Scoresby just starting to gain the ascendancy, and a free kick here. Looks like it's going to go for a chopping of the arms. It'll go the way of Baronia.
They need a goal here.
Must work it well. The handball comes back, finds Garrity. Inside forward 50, needs someone to fly. It doesn't happen. Plenty of numbers around the ball trying to swoop on it. Although the man that comes away from it once again is Duncan. Jeez, he's been good. Kicks out wide. I think there's a 14. We don't have... Oh, that was Bardsley, of course. Just corrected myself on the fly. Inside forward 50, looking for the target. Boxall, who
Good
takes
mark.
a nice grab 50 out on the angle. Looks to try and dish this one off, although he's gone hard and kicked it out of bounds on the full. There was plenty of numbers, Hare and also Castledine running back towards the middle. And just overshot the kick, and a free kick going the way of the Hawks. And it comes out, finds Casterton. Or Casterton, depending on where you're from. Short chip kick, wasn't great, and Castledine's finally got it, although it comes from an opposition kick, and he finds Williams on a short lead.
It's not going to catch you out, all those casts.
Caston. Luckily, Mark Williams has got this one. Saw him pot one earlier from a fair range. Mourinho back him in here for his second, and his side's 8th. Very close to the man on the mark, very high, and a very straight kick goes right through the middle. And his second on the board, Mark Williams, second of the term, and he moves his side on to 8-4-52, a 4 straight goal lead over Baronia, 4-4-28, 22 minutes gone here in the second term.
The last 2 goals that have come for Scoresby, they've been big through Baronia's mistakes. What Baronia got to do, I think that when the ball's in that last line of defence, I think they're better off just clearing it as long and as far as you can, because when they've tried to look pretty, as I said, they've turned it over twice and cost them 2 goals.
What Brent King needs to do is implement a fine system that every time they do it, they have to donate $10. Works up here.
Ball thrown up, comes out towards Hicks, tried to trap the football, released his teammate up towards the half-forward line, and it's in the arms there of Boxall. Right on his hammer out there is Walsh, then tried to win the possession back. Boxall came back in as well, racing over Harry Burgess to lend support and sees it over the boundary line and out.
Tommy Walsh, Brendan Walsh and Tommy Boxall there in that contest, both ex-district cricketers too, boys.
Probably for Roval.
Comes down now, Hicks just tried to bustle his way through, dropped the football. It was a good tackle, and Baronia now get the chance to kick it out of that danger zone. Ball up to the half-back line, numbers running out wide, and it's good play there by Jordan Granlin, who's had a good game for Baronia so far today. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. The kick wasn't that well weighted over the top there of King's Head. Chasing after the football, Redaway. He kicked a goal in the first. Over the boundary line it goes.
Just the wrong option. Bell was he's wingman, and he just should have given it to him, and then you can go over the top.
Fire to bring the ball back in now. Broadcast side. Backwards to go forwards here. Speak of the Devil, Bell gets the kick inside forward 50 he goes. Snap around the body by Redaway to the top of the goal square. Which way is this one going to curl back? And the mark, I think, is in the end taken by Yusuf. So doesn't want it either. Short passes on. That's a little bit wasteful in there. Callanan tried to get boot to ball. It was a strong tackle. Umpire said holding the football. So we've seen a couple of them in recent times. Grant Campbell, some stats to matters thanks to Choose Tap.
The intercept marks this quarter 7-1 in favour of Scoresby. So Baronia have turned the ball over directly to Scoresby 13 times for the match so far.
Well, it's a life for Phillips. He just took off, drove the ball inside, but Paulie Giannopoulos, he went, thank you very much. Switches the play now. And the Magpies will use this far side of the ground. Kick up towards the wing position. It was an up and under kick. Lake was a little bit of holding with Diesso.
You've got to at least hide it, Dan.
He's in a no-win situation, because at least if it was knocked down, the man at ground level was Bell.
Got it away. Yeah. Sun was pretty much in their eyes as well. Short pass from Lake to Walsh. It was of the Brendan variety. Switches play. Here's Granlin on the left boot. Drives it out wide.
And this is where the breakdown is. There's all the players in front of him.
Walsh.
Oh, Danny picks
shocking kick. So it's in the middle of the ground now. Another half smother. So it's not pretty. Who can be the damaging side here in this instant? Williams got the ball trickled out to him. A looping handball over the top. This might work favourably here for Scoresby. Bouncing football there by Hare. And through for one behind. I think that might have... It was Hare. No, it wasn't. It was Boxall.
Apologies.
Accepted. So 53 plays 28. Kick comes in from Granlin. Hugs the boundary line. He was looking out there for McKern and dropped what he probably should have taken. Goldsworthy was right there, touched and over the boundary line and out of bounds, Dice.
If Baronia took half the marks they dropped today, they would be well and truly in this game.
A lot of what-ifs, particularly for Baronia at the moment as they continue to give the ball over. This time they managed to find a target. This next kick's going to be dangerous though. Wright gives his handball away. Pressure comes from the Scoresby midfield. Great work. And it's sent over the boundary line and out of bounds. So, 26 minutes gone.
The boys in Bay 13, or was that House 13?
Over the fence, it's a lot more rowdy than over here.
Slow and clap.
Inside forward 50 once again for Scoresby. Nice mark taken in defence. And Baronia can clear out the outer side. They've got the numbers there, just need to move it quickly. Callanan got it away, found Yusuf. Yusuf gets it up towards half forward. Need a marking option. Haven't found one all day. I'll tell you what, if you're going to look for a best on ground, it's possibly going to come from the Scoresby defence at this stage because they've been rock solid as Hicks takes it away once again. Scoresby move it cleanly. Find Boxall, short chip, kick over the top, finds D'Esso, went to play on. The pressure came from Bell just to hold him up enough. Now he kicks long, high and straight to the top of the goal square. Hair flies, no numbers out the back of the pack. Only in Baronia jumpers as Burgess marks, kicks, finds Phillips, who kicks further afield and then returns with the 1-2. Into the man on the, of course not on the man on the mark. Granlund.
Got to run.
Got it away. They're just stagnating at this half forward line. They've got plenty of numbers around, just no one in front of the play as they try and go inside forward 50 once again. Redaway just tried to shepherd it past. And in the end, it was Owen able to try and get it away. But finally, a free kick goes in favour of Baronia and a kick to an empty goal square. And this could be a very handy goal just when you thought it got away from him. Wright can take the kick from point-blank range to put Baronia's 5th on the board.
And the umpire allowed Henderson to play on because there was a continuation.
Yeah, excellent play by Henderson.
Wright has certainly made the goal umpire work, but it's... And that's a very handy goal right on the stroke of half-time. So here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve, it's currently Scoresby 8-5-53, Baronia 5-4-34. Major goal kickers for the afternoon. Dale Hare has 4, Mark Williams with 2, and all single goal kickers for Baronia. A contest we have on our hands and a 19-point lead in favour of the home side. We'll be back right after this on EFL Game Day.
Yeah, man. Hope we win this weekend.
I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game.
Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase.
Oh, free pancake.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Locations all around Melbourne and country Victoria. Or shop online 24/7 for mattresses, bases, beds, pillows and custom-sized mattresses at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
मेरे मुस्तकबिल के कुछ मंसूबे हैं.
Mam zaplanowaną przyszłość.
I've also planned for the future. With the Tobin Brothers Funerals fixed price funeral plan, you can be sure your family won't be burdened with the cost of your funeral. Your life will be celebrated the way you want it and the price is fixed forever.
Je l'ai prévu pour l'avenir.
Plan for the future today so you can relax and enjoy the journey with those who matter most. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating diversity as they celebrate lives.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss EFL Sunday. From 10 till 12 every Sunday morning, the EFL media team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders, following a big round of EFL footy. The gang talk to the biggest names from across the league each and every week. EFL Sunday, from 10 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern. EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to efl.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. Go live and local every Saturday for Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Can he bring the house down, Robbie? They go charging into Division 2.
Stutter step, now sends it on its way. This one's going to go long. And straight through, Jeff.
Pass. Gee, that was poetry in motion, to use the cliche.
Braden Cross! Come at the moment, come at the man!
EFL Game Day, 1 through to 6 Saturdays on 98.1 Radio Eastern. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour. Lovely.
Welcome back to Scoresby Recreation Reserve, and currently a 19-point lead at halftime to the home side. 8-5-53, Baronia 5-4-34. A promotion for Bad Neighbours 3 going on across the fence from us. As you can hear in our effects mic, unfortunately the boys getting a bit rowdy on the house. Alas, thanks to Choose Tap, which they're probably having none of, but we all love, drank Super Campbell.
In the second quarter, Scoresby won the hit-outs 13-5, but lost the clearances 11-6. Scoresby on top in the contested ball 36-30, but Baronia very well on top in the uncontested possessions 60-42. Scoresby finished with 18 inside 50-16. The intercept marks really been harping on it. It was 9-2 for the quarter, the way of Scoresby, so they've taken 15 for the match. Baronia, that's turning the ball over directly far too often. And the free kick count was 10-3 the way of Baronia for the quarter, and now 16-6 for the match. So that's an interesting count. Not that I'm saying that the umpires have been unfair. Maybe Scoresby need to knuckle down a bit and stop giving away silly free kicks.
It's a real intriguing match because as bad as Baronia have been, Scoresby have wasted their opportunities as well. But, I mean, it's a game that if you looked at it without a scoreboard, you'd probably say that Scoresby were well and truly up and ahead, because Baronia have just been really clinical errors have killed them.
Oh, yeah. If you, Coach Peter Brown must be almost tearing his hair out, because I'm a neutral and I'm getting almost frustrated because they're showing so much potential. They're getting great ball. They look exciting when they run, but then they notice, I'm not going anywhere. Where do I go now? Hang on, all my teammates are behind me now.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Well, there was a passage of play that I think I called late that ended up resulting in a goal to right, but the issue was that there was, as it was coming through the middle of the ground, there was still, like you said, 5 players that were all standing behind the play. And maybe there's no run from their midfield inside forward 50. I don't know whether that's the plan or not.
On a day like this.
Yeah, there's this weird divide, which, I mean, full credit to Scoresby. They've been great defensively, but they're just getting shut down at half forward every time they go even close.
And another thing is, as Scoresby almost know, is if we sweat on them in the deep in, once we get it forward, we'll close it down, we'll shut it in, and we'll put Baronia under pressure with their skills. And we know that Baronia is still trying to work on their skills. And how many? About 3, at least 4, maybe turnover goals from kicks deep in their own defence from Baronia. So I'd say Scoresby, they know their opponent, they're playing to their strengths. They're playing on the counter-attack at times, but then they're holding it into the forward line when they do get it forward.
Yeah, and on the other side of it, I think Scoresby have had their issues going forward as well. There just seems to be a disconnect between each of their forwards that all of a sudden space will open up, yet they're kicking to the wrong positions, which is going to happen. But, I mean, full credit to Baronia. They've been good in transition, but just unable to account for it as they go forward.
But do they, in this game that's hot, and I know even in the first quarter, you looked at a couple of guys and they're going, well, I've done a few gut runs here and I'm feeling a bit tired. Yeah. Imagine in the fourth quarter, this game could go either way purely on fitness.
I noticed in the last quarter of the under-19s, which was, of course, usually it was around about 11 o'clock it started. And during the last quarter of that, there was blokes who were really tiring late, and obviously a bit of a difference in fitness levels and all the rest of it, but I think you'll find that that'll play a major role late in this game, because it's certainly going to go down to the wire. I reckon if Baroni can pick up their game, I think that's the biggest thing, that if Baroni can start finding a target, they're probably lacking a big key forward.
Well, Josh King's probably not that big, and he doesn't want to play big either.
And he's been playing real deep. I don't understand that. I don't know whether that was planned or whether he's just staying at home this afternoon.
Yeah.
But
there might be... and the other worry in this game, and we're talking about the game as it's developed, that the key marquee man, well, I hope he's not injured, Kuda, because you don't go off at the 14-minute mark and not even have a sniff of him anywhere near the bench. So we've got a boundary rider checking it out, because if you... I know, at the age that he is, and probably he's not training for the sport. He might do gym, but that's not the same thing when you start getting up. Your hammy is just ready to, or even the calf might be tight.
The old man's injury.
Yeah, it might be very tight. So I'm wondering if one of the two has gone a bit sore and he's pulled himself off and said, I can't do it anymore. I'm just, I'll look forward to knowing where he's at. Or he's saving himself for the second half, because we've had a very warm 45 minutes of football here already before he went off. So I'm just wondering where he's at. Hopefully we see him again, and he just maybe takes a couple of big marks and kicks some cracker goals or something, just to see. That's what we came here for, really.
I mean, the script would say that he, marks late in the game and kicks the winner, and then the Scoresby fans go mental and all the rest of it. But sometimes it doesn't always go that way. But we hope to see Anthony Kurtafidis back on the ground. And I mean, even if nothing else, it's one less man that they may not have on the ground, which if this game gets close late, could be a major deal. But I don't think there's been any real ascendancy from Scoresby. They've controlled their back line. That's probably it. I just think those errors from Baronia are that 19-point difference.
They've minimised the consequences from their errors. They've had as many skill errors trying to hit up targets and handballs, and it's been quite tough and tight on the outer wing. But when the ball gets out in the open, it's quite stark, the difference between Baronia's mistakes and Scoresby's mistakes. Baronia have at times almost kicked it to their opposition, or given the guys that have made the effort to break free no chance to spoil or keep the ball in the area. And they've been caught on the counter-attack too many times, and at least 4 goals have come from direct turnovers in their own defence. So they, in all reality, could have been leading based on the way they played the game, except for that all-important aspect of skills.
Well, just looking at Subi's stats once again, intercept marks 15 for Scoresby, 4 for Baronia. I mean, that probably in itself is, and I mean, even to a lesser extent, contested possessions, Scoresby leading that, uncontested possessions, Baronia leading that. So they're quite happy on the outside, Baronia, but not quite willing to win their own ball. And when they're getting it, they're under pressure consistently, which is always going to be an issue.
And Scoresby, let's look at their highlights. Hare, he can take a fine lead. He's ever dangerous, ever present. He's kicked 4 goals. And Mark Williams is just poised. And when we talk about skills, he converted twice when no one else on the field had that in them. So him and Hare have been quite an advantage, really.
And both of them are going to benefit if Kurtafidis does get on the ground, because all of a sudden you have to put your first backman on Kurtafidis, the rest shuffle down. Hare gets a bit of space like he did in that first term. He kicked, 2 in the first quarter and really started to open the game up. The pressure will come late in this game from Baronia. They're not going to go away, but alas, it's a 19-point lead in favour of Scoresby at the moment. Scoresby at 5:53, leading Baronia 5:4:34, getting ready for the second half out here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. You're listening to EFL Game Day, whether it's on 98.1 Radio Eastern or streaming live at www.efl.org.au. Of course, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour, and we thank them again for their support in season 2016. This is EFL Game Day.
This weekend. I hope we win too, because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game. Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase. Free pancake. First your team wins and then your belly wins. It's win-win, man. Claim your free sweet pancake with any savoury item purchase just by showing your winning team's colours. Or your team membership. At any Pancake Parlour this weekend. Oh, and don't forget, check out Facebook for this week's offer.
Lovely. Program sponsor.
Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. a1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
How would you like to be celebrated?
I could put together a really cool playlist.
Frank Sinatra.
Elton John.
Beatles. John Lennon.
Boy bands. A lot of 90s.
I'd certainly not be opposed to people dancing.
Finger food.
Party pies.
Homemade pickles. I'd like some cakes. There will be fairy bread.
Twinks. I have a thing for pink lemonade.
And lots of coffee.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Join the EFL media team for unrivaled coverage of the Eastern Football League in 2016. The Huddle takes a light-hearted look at the league for 2 hours from 4:30 every Friday evening. From 1 p.m. Saturdays, EFL Gameday gives you play-by-play from the game of the round, as well as all the latest live scores from around the East. Then a full wrap of all games from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. every weekend on EFL Sunday. The EFL media team have it covered as you love it local in 2016.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Locations all around Melbourne and country Victoria. Or shop online 24/7 for mattresses, bases, beds, pillows, and custom-sized mattresses at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
Go live and local every Saturday for Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Can he bring the house down, Robbie? They go charging into Division 2.
Stutter step. Now sends it on its way. This one's going to go long. And straight through, Jeff.
Pass. Gee, that was poetry in motion, to use the cliche.
Braden Croft! Cometh the moment, cometh the man!
EFL Game Day, 1 through to 6 Saturdays on 98.1 Radio East.
On that
All
halfway,
thanks
because
to
first
the
of all it was
Pancake
perfect,
Parlour.
and then it went.
Lovely.
So that was annoying. They didn't wait.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day. All thanks, of course, to the Pancake Parlour. And it is Scoresby 8-5-53, leading Baronia 5-4-34. An intriguing clash, currently a 19-point margin in favour of the Magpies. Umpires are out on the ground, still waiting for Scoresby and Baronia. Word from a few Scoresby people that Kudafetis may not be injured, just having a bit of a rest for most of the second term.
We'll probably find out. I think if he's not on the ground at the start of the third quarter, he probably won't come back, it's fair to say. I mean, he's had, would have been about a 40-minute rest or so. So, yeah. Hopefully he's back out there for all the fans that came down to watch him, because otherwise you've seen him have 1 mark, 1 kick and 1 goal, and that's about it.
It was the first goal of the game, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
And they're coming out now, so we'll see how, just looking at the Scoresby players as they run onto the ground, looking for Kuda.
Look for the orange boots and the huge shoulders.
I don't see him, actually.
Can't see orange boots out there at the moment.
Don't see him.
That's actually a fair point. He's not out there at the moment. So maybe Scoresby may have to do it a man down, unless he's just being...
theatrical entrance.
Yeah. The fanfare starts. Thanks, Gav.
Got excited. Entering the arena, number 43.
Oh, that's what they used to do in the Gladiator days, didn't they?
Well, they used to trolley them up from the to the
God.
bottom, so I don't know if we've got a big dugout where the lions and all the all the gladiators are kept. Don't know Scoresby's gone on that expansion plan yet.
I wasn't talking about Coliseum Gladiator. I was talking about the television show.
Oh, you're so preoccupied with Whitney, Mike Whitney.
I used to love that show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's childhood. And It's a Knockout was probably back in my day.
As Ben Warren Smith and Ray Baird just walked past the House of Horrors. Luckily didn't get much in return. So both sides out on the ground, both sides ready to get started for the second half. Still no sign of Anthony Koutafidis. Good to see Luke Van Reenen just lending a few tips to younger brother Reese. Of course.
There's another player on the sidelines too for Scoresby. They might be 2 down. You see it next to their dugout, how they've got so even in their circle they might only have 20.
So there's a limp. It looks like Scanlon.
Yeah, Luke Scanlon.
Scanlon walking with a limp. Koutafidis hasn't come out of the rooms yet. So 2 on the bench for Scoresby.
I reckon this fitness thing is going to play. It's going to play today.
And it's only a 19-point lead. That'll get absorbed fairly quickly as both sides break out into position. So we might just keep an eye on that Scoresby bench to see what goes on. Scanlon getting a bit of work done by the trainers as both sides move into position for the start of this second half. Scoresby kicking to the scoreboard end. Baronia kicking to the Stud Road end of the ground.
And conversely, Baroni, they got their men sprinting off the ground.
It's always that mental thing, isn't it? Yeah. When you run in at half-time, the side that runs in is usually the side that has the momentum. We'll see how that plays out at after half-time as we get set for a start. Ruckman in position, just waiting for the Scoresby defence to move into position. Ground's cleared, ready for a start to the second half of this one. A 19-point lead in favour of the Magpies. If you've just joined us, Scoresby leading this one by 19 points, potentially 2 men down on the bench as we kickstart the second half on AFL Game Day. Umpire Morris DiVincentis throws the ball up. Tap down, nice work off the back of the pack there, McKernan. Punch forward, good work off the back of the pack, Giannopoulos. And held up once again, 70 around from the Baronia goal. Bottom of the pack there was Ryan Hicks. So Baronia with the numbers, Hicks in front position, tried to get it away. Nice work off the back there, Henderson. Now a chance for clean disposal inside forward 50, first time in the half. Owen with a nice punch over the back. And a great tackle there by King. And wraps up his opponent 35 out from defensive goal.
That's what you want to see from your big forwards.
That was King on King. It was one of the Scoresby and one of the Baronia variety.
Is that Pocket Kings?
Redaway went without it. Now over the back, Phillips gets it away to Youssef, bending back to the top of the goal square. Numbers around here favour Baronia. King will be first to meet it, although he met hard with a tackle there from Roberts. And skewed it through, just snuck it in for one behind. So the first score on the board going the way of Baronia. And makes the score 5-5-35. A straight 3 goals, Scoresby 8-5-53.
Silence is deafening.
Raceman Luke Scanlon started on the bench, injured. And Anthony Koutafidis we're yet to see in the second half. Ben?
Roberts kicked it out, a big fist on there from Brendan Walsh, went about 25 metres over towards the boundary line and out, right in front of the Roof boys. Really enjoying their afternoon today. Pye throws it in. Down by Van Reenen, straight into the arms there of Phillips. This way, that way, swings around on the right boot up towards the half-forward line. They've linked up well here. Here's Brendan Walsh on the right boot. Which way's this one to go? He loved it. Straight away, he puts it through. And that's his first of the afternoon. It's all single goal kickers for the Baronia Football Club. They are 6-5-41, 12 points in arrear of Scoresby, who are 8-5-53.
Player of the day there, the little give onto right, who was running into an open goal, but still had all of it to do. And he put it on the boot and started clapping like a madman. Yeah. It was just, but they're up. The Baronia's up and about.
No, he knew. So it was right, number 3. Yeah, his second goal for the day, BWS.
2 goals to Braden Wright, back in the middle.
You're right. So they'll get the clean disposal out of the middle again through a free kick. This time it'll go the way of Casterton. Inside 50. Great mark there by King. Had Jesse Owen all over his back, but managed to just hold on to it. And he can line up from 45 out on a slight angle. And all of a sudden that margin diminishes into nothing.
If he can kick this one, it's certainly the start that Baronia were looking for.
Captain Obvious is back.
You certainly take 13 points in 3 minutes, that's for sure.
That's right.
So Josh King, for his first of the afternoon, looked lively so far in this first 3 minutes and can put his first one on the board. Kick looks good off the boot. He loves it. Goal umpire loves it. Baronia back in the contest. 7-5-47. Scoresby 8-5-53. Only 3 minutes gone, already 2 goals in favour of the Hawks.
Well, I was predicting maybe just going to claim some Nostradamus effect when we were talking about half-time. Wonder if Baronia know that...
Did you expect it to happen in the first 3 minutes?
It can't be that bold. But I wonder if they know that they're running on top of the ground better than their opposition. And finally, they've got it running and passing, hitting the targets inside 50.
Pye throws the ball back up. Henderson got that knocked down straight into the arms of McKernan. Will cross down boundary side very shortly. Ball comes up now. Scoresby half forward line. In over the top there, Duncan was asking for the handball to come out, kick off the ground there by Walsh. In the middle of the ground, the Hawks go forward again. The grubber of a kick goes up towards the King direction. The big man got the handball away, almost copped one in the back for his troubles. Comes out Leeson, squeezed it up. They'll have a shot on goal here. This will be 3 in a matter of minutes, but pushed to the left-hand side by Lockie McKernan and through for a minor score. They're edging close, though. 5 points is the margin. 4.5 minutes gone. Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to chiropractic betting to John.
Yeah, we can confirm Kuta has come off with a hamstring injury. He won't be back on for the rest of the game.
Oh, that's a big loss. Add to that Scanlon. And they're already 2 down, and Baronia are coming once again, trying to work it out here. Good work there from Braden Wright. Already has 2 for the afternoon. Working out the back, Leeson gave his handball away, found McKernan, who's held up. And umpire's not going to call.
He put it through too, King.
And it's going to be a free kick going the way of Giannopoulos.
Brendan Walsh.
Sorry, Duncan.
It's a pity because they're now working their way into open and they're not mucking around with their skills like finessing it and just missing targets. They're actually starting to work beautifully together now, Baronia.
So Duncan certainly putting his hands up for the Trojan Tools best on ground. Kicks and finds Williams a long way from home. Centre wing on the outer side. Now he looks for a target further afield. This one's going to go tight to the boundary line. And in the end, it's punched over, so we'll have another boundary throw.
So, Ray, who has to stand up for Scoresby because they look like they need someone to?
Well, I think that they've all got to stand up, Gab. Look, they've got to start working the ball out the midfield. They've got to slow it down at the moment.
So no real clean possession out of the contest.
Yeah, Scoresby have got to control the ball for the next 5 minutes or so. Doesn't matter if they don't score, but they just got to control the ball. Maybe some short passes around, hold the play up and get back into the game that way.
A few names who we hadn't mentioned early for Baronia are starting to get into the game, and that's dangerous signs for Scoresby moving forward in this game. As we've just been stuck for the last minute or so in a congested area up, tucked hard up against the boundary line. Still a 5-point lead in favour of Scoresby, and although they're led by 19 points just 6 minutes ago as both sides came out after half-time. It's been all one-way traffic so far for Baronia in the first 5 minutes or so, and they gather possession once again. Yusuf through the middle of the ground, sells a bit of candy, and then finally gets his handball away. Moving inside forward 50, looking for a target, running back with a fly to the ball was Jesse Owen for Scoresby and chops it off nicely.
So Owen just pops it up to Duncan to run onto, takes the mark, he'll handball out wide and had King running. Bit of a helicopter punt kick up towards the wing position and a stolen mark in the end. Handball off goes to Williams. On the left boot goes up towards the half forward line. Getting out nicely in front there was Boxall on the right boot. Swings it around. Can he bring it back enough? He can't. Through for one behind. That was better play from Scoresby. It was cleaner and they got the shot on goal as well and they stretched their lead back out to that 1 goal margin. 8-6-54, Baronia 7-6-48. 7 minutes gone in the term. Baronia to bring the ball back through Lachlan McKernan this way, that way. Got himself into a fair old bit of trouble in the end, but got himself out of it just as good. Kick up towards the half-forward line. They've got the numbers. King, he was untended there. He has Redaway screaming for it in the forward pocket. Elects to go to Callanan, though. It went straight over the top of his head. Made him work really hard for the football. He needed some support. Copping one on the head was Leeson. Play on his advantage. It comes in. Redaway over the top he goes. That's how you do it. A good team goal there from the Boronia side. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, scores are level out here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. It is 8-8, 8-6-54 apiece, and a lovely finish there by Brendan Walsh, who's had a lot of the football to put through his first goal of the afternoon.
They were selling raffle tickets for that goal there, Boronia. They could mess it up as much as possible, and they still walked into an open goal.
Free kick paid off the ball going the way of the Hawks, so it gets worse.
They remonstrated with the Scoresby defenders, weren't happy, too much attention. There's men open all over the place.
Plenty of numbers, and they've found one. Bolton. Inside forward 50. Can they make it 4 straight? Can't do it so on this occasion. Numbers at the bottom of the pack with Boronia. Kicked it without it there, Leeson. Tried to get it away.
Fresh air shot.
Held up about 40 out from the Boronia goal.
Disposals 36-8 in favour of Boronia. Clearances 7-1 their way.
The scary thing for Scoresby is we're not even 10 minutes into the quarter and they've already surrendered every single bit of the lead they had at half-time. Nice tackle there from King. Just holds it up. That's of the Scoresby variety. Ashley.
And they look spent, actually. They look like spectators, some of them.
So ball up once again. Tap down this occasion by Wright. Playing as a forward ruck, trying to get it away now. Good work there from Van Reen and trying to make something happen for the Magpies. And once again, so Boronia won't mind this. Still trapped in their offensive 50, not for long though, as Hicks tries to take it away. Gives his handball off, dispossessed there was Constantino. Boronia gained possession once again, won't go 15. Umpire said it did go 15. Lake takes the mark, man on the mark, standing right at 49 metres.
Now it's Scoresby from halfback who don't have the options. They don't have the skills to weave their way through the play there. They're turning it over in their own defence.
So this did give Boronia the lead. It's only taken 10 minutes. And all the one-way traffic for Boronia, I should say. Comes in now, sends it on its way. It's going to sail right and through for one behind. Alas, it's given them the lead. Boronia 8-7-55, Scoresby 8-6-54, 10 minutes gone. A 19-point lead to Scoresby has trailed into a 1-point deficit in just 10 minutes.
So Ryan Hicks to bring the ball back in for the Pies. Spearing pass, nicely chopped off there by Bell. Comes up to Bolton, swings around on the right boot, you little beauty. Jess Bolton gets his second goal of the afternoon. Lead stretched out to 7 points at Scoresby Recreation Reserve, and it's Boronia having all the play in this third term. So 10.5 minutes gone. Well,
Ray,
you're on fire.
They've swapped Guernsey because Dyson and I at half-time talking about the skill errors that Boronia had in their defence. Now it's the other team, Scoresby, that are turning it over.
Yeah, well, the Boronia's come out all run. Now, what Scoresby have got to do is, as I said, they've got to control the play for the next 10 minutes. They've got to start manning up man on man, particularly around the half-back line. And if they can get the ball, they need to just slow the game down, play it on their turn, because the way it is, they're not in the contest.
Van Reenen straight into the arms of Krauzik. Got a handball out wide. Scoresby need a little bit here. Bolton backwards he goes. They've just got so much run at the moment. Callanan on the left boot, got dumped after he kicked it, but the kick was good enough to find in the arms of Bell. This way, that way, short passes on, had to be spot on. Walsh through his arms. Roberts now can reprieve for Scoresby up towards the wing position. 2 bites almost pulled in by Bardsley. Bounces over the boundary line. True centre wing position, and we'll have a throw in.
On the half-back line, have a look now. We've got 5 Scoresby players there, all just walking around in circles. Now, they must have men. You've got to pick your men up.
Pye throws it in, and there's been a whistle off the ball. Krauzik tried to take it, and
what worked for them in the first term, setting up a wall, is probably now just fatigued players not knowing where to
right.
go.
Exactly.
A little bit of confusion out here as to what the go is.
The boundary throw-in must have gone about 10 metres sideways, so they've done it again.
So eventually play restarts. Pye throws it in. Big fly over the back there by Henderson. He got the knockdown straight into the arms of Duncan. Tried to get rid of it. Crawsick came in and kicked it stupidly off the ground. And there's a 25-metre penalty, or is it just a free kick?
No, yeah, you're right with what you said. 25-metre penalty for the umpire. Already blew his whistle, told everyone where the who the player was, and Crawsick kicked it off the ground.
So the kick goes up towards the King direction, knocked away from him in the arms of Hicks now, tried to break one tackle, got the handball away eventually, charging in there was Garrity, got the handball away. There's a lot of players around this football, diving in hard. Crawsick copped one in the back and he wasn't happy about it either, the skipper. And a little bit of argy-bargy, time to get the play restarted. They've got players all by themselves in the middle here. Sonzi takes it now and he can take off. He links up nicely there with Castledine. Kick the ball up towards the half-forward line. Bouncing football, he'll get it up, he'll get it again. And then it was chopped off there by Dodd. Little kick in towards the middle. Now Baronia seem to have the numbers. Dumping tackle there by King, and it's all happening out here towards the wing position. Walsh got it out wide. Scoresby again will have a chance, but the kicks are just letting them down at the moment, both sides. And the umpire's called for play to come back.
It's a blood rule.
So Scoresby have it across the half-back line.
Big Van Reenen's going off with the blood rule, boys.
Yeah, and he's the one who maybe instigated a bit of howdy-doody, and it's almost tactical, it seemed like. Scoresby were like, we're dead on our feet, we're chasing them, we're hurting, we need to rough them up. It almost was a bit like that. Scoresby, they're trying to get the game back on their terms, no matter whichever tactic they can use.
So it's the Hawks. Kick goes up, big fly over the back there by Giannopoulos, knocked the ball away in the middle of the ground now. Quick kick forward by Boxall. Wasn't too great off the boot either. Duncan's in there, he couldn't pick it up. Crawsick linked up very nicely there with Castledine, swings it around and got tackled just as he kicked it, so eventually trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Good result, because the last man goalkeeper sort of thing for Baronia would have swept it away.
Underneath the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, halfway through the third term, the premiership quarter. It's only round 3, of course. 61 plays 54. Baronia down at half-time have done all the scoring in this third quarter, but it is deep down in the Scoresby forward line now. And eventually rushed through from a Nathan Walsh fifth. No, it stayed alive again. So still about 20 metres out. Handball this way, that way. Giannopoulos straight through his arms, goes after it again. The big fella on hands and knees, right on his cases. Harry Burgess, umpire said, give it to me. Let's start this one more time. See if Scoresby can put one through the big ones. Big fly over the back there by Diesso. Almost palmed it down. Tackle by Harry Burgess. That was good on Sonzi. Eventually got the ball out. They'll go after it again. And we'll have a bounce 40 metres out from goal.
Well, it's great to see now Baronia, they're daring to keep the ball in play because they know they've got the ascendancy. They want to see the ball open up.
Getting the tap down there on that occasion was Henderson, although Scoresby try and clear away. Kick wasn't all that flash and goes out of bounds. Almost right on the goal post.
Another one of those kick off the foot when you're on the boundary.
So it's a free kick going the way of Hare. Tucked right up against the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. No.
It's a point. Look, it's a boundary throw.
Boundary throw.
There we go. I was doubting the fact that surely it's not a Scoresby free kick. Because they would have been the one that kicked it that way anyway. Yeah. Alas, it's a boundary throw in. Nice tap down off the back of the pack there, Diesso, and now a chance for Baronia to strike from the clearance though. Numbers around there. Bardsley tried to pick up, went with the second. Went without it on that occasion. Still on centre wing. And now Baronia get the numbers to the contest. They're just ferocious with their pressure so far in the second half.
They've certainly come out in this quarter with a whole new lease of life of what they had in the first half. But they had to, because, you know, otherwise they wouldn't have been in the game.
No, well, Ray, if they took away the scoreboard, all the indicators suggested that they were well and truly getting on top in the game.
That's
so maybe
right, yeah.
their beliefs and confidence in that fact is quite evident now.
Hicks evaded a tackle, now gets his kick inside forward 50, but once again, Baronia are able to repel off half back. It's like a game of two halves directly, but Scoresby will gain possession here again through Hill as they try and go inside forward 50.
But see that entry, all he's done is he's kicked it long. He hasn't looked for anybody, and nobody down forward's actually given him something to kick to.
That's good sportsmanship there from Bardsley. How long do you wait in this situation as an umpire? You've got to get the game.
He's in the way, isn't he?
When does it become time wasting?
If you call play on
time
him,
on,
you can't because he's there. Well, they're going to anyway, aren't they?
It's well, you can't just sit there right in the middle of the play. And he's just affected there because Baroni's been able to play on, move it up towards half forward and open up the space. But there's plenty of numbers round in Hawks jumpers, and Casterden's one of them. Grabs the ball. Now a chance to go inside forward 50. Numbers around with favour Baronia. Kick comes in from McKernan. Finds King. He can't mark. Ball spills out over the back. Chance with numbers. They're just Hawks jumpers everywhere. Duncan tries to get
a trip.
Duncan gets away with a lucky one, and he'll win the free kick off half back. So assesses his option. Dangerous across goal. Goldsworthy goes further afield. Now to the outer side. Slowly moving it out of the fence. And just the skill errors. I mean, it's Baronia in the first half all over again. They try and get it away here, the Hawks. Phillips gets it back. Now goes long to the top of the goal square, looking for an option. Flying over the back there was King for Scoresby. No mark taken. Ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. 18 and a half minutes gone. Scoresby 8-6-54 after leading at halftime by 19 points. Trail Baronia 9-7-61.
Pye brings it in. Can Baronia snag one? Picked up by King. Kick was smothered though, so through the arms of Hill, he'll have a bounce to release the ball and make that 2 across the half-back line now for Scoresby. The kick would want to be a good one, and it was perfect. Straight down the throat of Mark Williams, who's taken it just outside the centre square. You can hear the crowd in the effects mark getting right into this. The Roof boys especially. Kick goes up towards the half-forward line. Ball just sat up in the end. He was looking for Hare. Pye says play on and we'll have a bounce.
They're not doing their teammates down forward any favours when they just bomb the ball in like that. You know, he held play up, he took too long to kick it, and then he's just bombed it.
The blokes on the roof or the blokes on the ground? They're not doing anyone any favours.
Ball goes over once again. Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 50s 11-5 in favour of Baronia this quarter. They've had 34 uncontested possessions to 14.
So at that stoppage, it's Baronia to go forward. A long looping kick, and reading it really well was Roberts, who switches the ball into the middle of the ground now, where Paul Pillai couldn't take the mark, but he'll go after it again. Right on his hammer was White, who then met the football, got a boot to ball really also. Charges after it. Oh, that was all class there by Ryan White. Goes in towards the middle. They'll send the ball forward. Standing all by himself was Ryan over the top of his head. Oh, there's a few mistakes being made here, King. He goes backwards, gets it to Phillips. Phillips to kick the goal, and Phillips does kick the goal. They got there eventually, the Baronia Hawks. They did a good job of working the ball forward. A few fumbles in there, but the end result that they were after 20 and a half minutes gone here in the third term, they open up a 13-point lead on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
But despite all the calls of missed kicks, going over heads, fumbles, you didn't call a Scoresby player coming in and putting pressure on. You didn't say there's a hand in there or a tackle. There was none of that. Baronia just walked in a goal again.
Well, and every time they're going forward, Baronia, they've got 2 or 3 options. You know, they're just running in numbers into that forward line, and Scoresby, well, they're under a lot of pressure and they're turning it over too.
Speaking of blokes winning awards that won't be paid today, that's Player of the Day from Ryan White. That was absolutely sensational pressure, and then the ability to just win the ball and actually feed it inside forward 50 was brilliant, which is once again where Baronia go, but this one's going to go hard up against the boundary line. Scoresby will recover here through Roberts, who kicks down the line. Clubroom side, all Baronia numbers though. So shut down numbers around for Baronia. Plucked out of nowhere there. Phillips gave his handball away. Yusuf inside forward 50. All brown and gold jumpers. No one can take the mark. Good work there from home. It's swooping on this one. Ryan White, reward for effort from the play previous, and a great goal there from Ryan White, and it just gets better and better for Hawks fans, and their 11th goal on the board. They move on to 11-7-73. Scoresby 8-6-54 and a 19-point lead back the other way. A 38-point turnaround in 21 minutes of football.
Very undisciplined play by Scoresby there. There was 5 Scoresby players went to that marking contest. Not one of them dropped back towards the goal square. And what happened? The ball's gone forward, front and forward. The Baronia Smalls have come in and an easy goal.
But they were rooted to the spot, the guys at ground level. They weren't moving.
But when you got 5 going for a marking contest, you know, that's not on.
Van Reenen knocked it straight down Hicks's throat. He was quickly met in tackle and will have a bounce once again in the middle.
It's a great quarter footy though from Baronia, 6 goals.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Hicks trying to get through again. Eventually got a little toe poker on it up towards the half-forward line. Met there by White. Goes backwards. Granland's handball was intercepted. Across the half-forward line here for Scoresby. Mopped up there by Lake. Out they go towards the wing position now where the foot race is on. Bolton will be the first player to meet the football. He's got the class this way, that way. He's going to square things up a little bit here. He was looking for Casterton. Over the top of his head it went, but Walsh linked back up nicely there with Bolton. Hits 40 metres out from goal. The kick goes on towards goal and pushed to the left-hand side. That was exciting play and a let-off for the Scoresby Football Club. They wouldn't have liked to have seen that one go through, and it is a 20-point margin out here at the 23-minute mark of the third term. And
Ben, they almost went coast to coast, but it was actually Baronia giving ground just to make room for themselves. Grantland went back to half-back, and then they transitioned the other side of Scoresby just to get it forward. Scoresby reserve. It was a magnificent play.
Picked up by Henderson. He dropped a mark he should have taken earlier. Squeezed to kick up towards Lachlan McKernan, about 70 metres out from goal. He's going to kick it towards the centre half forward mark. The umpire said play on. I thought it might have been a little bit of chopping of the arms. Ball comes out to Hicks. Put himself under a bit of pressure, but they'll squeeze the ball out towards Giannopoulos now for Scoresby. A long looping handball out wide. Aidan Hill now will have a bounce. Can have a couple of bounces. Gets the ball back inboard, looking for Scott Duncan on the left boot. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. One-on-one situation. Looked like there might have been a little bit of holding there. Umpire said play on, and Baronia, they'll get the chance. Oh, stolen there by Boxall. He picks it up, swings around. That was unselfish play. The ball stays alive about 40 metres out from the Scoresby goal. Eventually back to Duncan. Duncan on the left, he needs to kick this one, and the crowd get behind him because he's put through the 9th on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard for the Scoresby Football Club. That's what they needed, Ray Baird, drawing the margin back to 14 points.
Yeah, look, that's what they needed, but look, it was still a lot of mistakes there, but the thing that they can get out of that was the fact that they didn't give in. They just kept fighting and fighting, and eventually the ball went their way, but they've got to do a lot more of that to get back into this game.
Duncan's a shining light. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of sprightly moves, and he's got some skills on him.
I'd love to have a beer with him.
But I saved that one up. I didn't want to do it. He's Duncan's, mate. He's not yours.
Before that goal, it was 6 goals for to 1 behind in this term in favour of Baronia. So just the 1 goal won in 25 minutes of football for Scoresby. Although the only positive for them is the fact that they led by 19 points at half-time. Although they might get one here through as Hicks bursts through the middle. Inside forward 50. Huge pack flies. Swooping onto the bottom. Goldsworthy couldn't make the most of it. Player held up right on the goal line. And umpire calls for it once again. So some positive signs in the last minute or so. It was Boxall at the bottom of the pack on that occasion.
Another goal.
Desperately need one as we tick towards 26 minutes. Comes over the back. Getting it there was D'Esso. Went nowhere with it. And held up. As I said, can't be too much time left. First couple of quarters went about 27 odd minutes. Boxall will be first to meet it here. Gives his handball away. Now it's got dispossessed late. Numbers around here for Scoresby if they can make them work. Off the back of the pack, handball wasn't all that flash, and Baronia can run away. Plenty of numbers out there as they're in transition. Players caught behind the ball for Scoresby as Walsh gets his kick away to Redaway. Just couldn't quite get there. Nice defensive work there from Berthasol. And seen over the boundary line, 45 metres round from the Baronia goal.
You saw when Baronia broke from that half-back line there was, 1, 2, 3 options, all going wider, which was okay. And then Brendan Walsh standing by his own 30 metres without an opponent.
Almost too many options for Baronia when they look forward,
That's
unlike
right.
the first half.
So it's gone from the Scoresby goal line to the Baronia inside forward 50, and this looks promising for the Hawks again. Great mark taken, not paid there by Walsh. Swooping on it in the goal square. Great work there, and knocked out the goal umpire in the process. Leeson Goal umpire stands strong, hat off, and sends 2 fingers out the front of him. Back to a 20-point margin in favour of the Hawks. 12-8-80. Baronia Scoresby 9-6-60.
I reckon he did pay it. He just knew that the only one forward of the pack was a Hawk.
Yeah, it was.
And he threw the hand pass out nice and quick. So that was marvellous.
It's just a matter of being aware where your teammates are in that situation.
3 goals for the quarter for Brendan Walsh.
Yeah.
This ground's an absolute picture, isn't it, Ray?
It is. It's a tremendous ground.
He liked it better when Roval played here.
Oh, I thought we weren't going to mention that.
That's $20 for Dyson Baker. That's all I'm going to say.
Happy to play.
Kick goes up towards the half-forward line now. Bouncing football. Needs to stay alive there for Castledine. He tried to knock it back to Hill, who took it, but he was wrapped up by Tom Dodd, who threw him over the boundary line. Goal in the second quarter, Dodd. Just when the Hawks needed it. Now they're sitting pretty, 20 points up, 28 minutes gone in the third term. Over the top there of Diesso's head. Hill tried to squeeze a handball out. Diesso gets down, picks the ball up. Handball back, that was okay. Giannopoulos swings around on the right boot. Almost pulled in there by Boxill. He'll dive after the football again. It's just inside the line, about 35 metres out from Scoresby's goal. If you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern, we're up on the balcony here today, outside the ground, the best spot in the house.
Out of the house, Ben.
Comes up now, top of the goal square, and a mark has been pulled in there by Tom Boxill. So I've been impressed with him, Dyson, this afternoon, Boxill.
Yeah, look, he's presented without being overly brilliant, but I'll tell you what, if he kicks this one, it's a very handy goal.
Certainly gives a contest, there's no doubt about that. So if they ever they needed one, certainly now 20 points is not great to go up against starting a quarter, and to reduce this to 14, every little bit helps. Comes in now. 35 metres out, almost directly in front, and that's exactly the way the ball goes straight over the goal umpire's head, and the margin is back to 14 points. So 29 minutes gone now on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And a bit of push and shove going on down there in the goal square at the other end of the ground.
It's his first goal of the afternoon, Tom Boxill.
So 29 minutes gone. Not too much longer you would think. Although there's still been about 9 goals kicked in this quarter, I think. So I could be wrong.
Great to see Dyson multitasking.
Exactly. 9.
He's doing all the social media as well as the commentating. Brilliant.
Ben's just amazed by GIFs. And the fact that he doesn't actually tweet himself, he just retweets. So ball back in the middle once again. 14-point lead in favour of Baronia. After the Hawks trailed by 19 points at half time.
Don't ask me to retweet anything ever again.
Baronia go inside forward 50 once again. Kick wasn't all that flash, but Redaway made it work for him. And hard up in the pocket.
That's a difficult ball to mark, that one too.
Running back with the fly to the ball. His opponent Berthasol hard on his tail. Going to back himself here from a tough angle to bring it back out to 20 points. He's almost clawed this one back beautifully. Yes. Straight over the goal umpire's head. No mistake there from Jacob Redaway as he kicked his second, and back once again out to a 20-point margin. 13-8-86. Baronia Scoresby 10-6-66 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is EFL game day.
A few junk time goals, hasn't there, Ben?
So what Redaway did then, he used the post and curled it from the post. That's a smart thing to do when you've got an acute angle, is give yourself something to aim for and use the angles. Beautifully done, aiming to the left post.
Comes out now, Yusuf. Tried to get rid of it. Another restart. Can't be too long left in this third quarter.
Been saying that for 5 minutes.
On a day when we're on time restrictions. Ain't life peachy. It's the umpire. Throws it up now, eventually in the arms of Callanan. Gets it in the middle of the ground. Might go for the old 1-2 here. Another shot on goal here for Baronia. Which way is that one going to go through for one behind? That's their 10th on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And at three-quarter time, it is the Baronia Football Club leading this one. Hasn't clicked over, or we'll go with 13.
No, so that point is the extra point that was scored right on the goal, right on the three-quarter time zone.
13-9-87, a 21-point lead to Scoresby, 10-6-66. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern, streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. Major goal kicker on the ground is Dale Hare. He has 4, 2 to Mark Williams, while for Baronia it is Redaway Wright and Jess Bolton with 2 apiece. They had a fantastic third term, the Hawks. Can Scoresby come back? Time will tell. We'll be back here on EFL Game Day in just a moment.
Yeah, man. Hope we win this weekend. Oh, I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game. Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase. Oh, free pancake first you take.
Hey, bad boy!
Cool playlist.
Frank Sinatra.
Elton John.
Beethoven.
John Lennon.
Boy bands.
A lot of 90s.
I'd certainly not be opposed to people dancing.
Finger food. Party pies.
Homemade pickles. I'd like some cakes. They will be very bread.
Thing for pink lemonade.
And lots of coffee.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct for mattresses, bases, beds, electric beds, trundle beds, quality pillows, as well as custom-sized mattresses made to measure. Factory Direct locations around Melbourne and country Victoria. To keep up to date on the latest sales, fun facts and news, go to Facebook, search and like Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct, and you'll join over 17,000 Facebook fans. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Or shop online at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au. Go live and local every Saturday for Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Can he bring the house down, Robbie? They go charging into Division 2.
Stutter step. Now sends it on its way. This one's going to go long. And straight through.
Pass. Gee, that was poetry in motion, to use the cliche.
Braden Cross! Come at the moment, come at the man!
EFL Game Day, 1 through to 6 Saturdays on 98.1 Radio Eastern. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour. Lovely.
Lovely indeed, and we thank the Pancake Parlour again for their support in season 2016. Welcome back to EFL Game Day, and I tell you what, you can turn a game on its head in a premiership quarter of football, can't you, Gav Casey?
Yeah, it was they were running on top of the ground, and Scoresby were left looking like spectators here. Like they paid the admittance fee just to see Cooter, and when he disappeared, they went. They left. They decided
That's
they
pretty much it, yeah.
They don't want to be here either.
A 19-point lead at halftime turned into a 21-point deficit at three-quarter time. Grant Sippy Campbell, how did it happen thanks to Chewstap?
Well, there wasn't a huge difference in the clearances. It was just 15-13 the way of Baronia, but what they got on top on was the contested possessions 40-31, but particularly the uncontested possessions 55-25. So they just outran Scoresby for the entire quarter. The inside 50 differential really reflects it also. At 20 for Baronia, only the 9 for Scoresby. not a huge discrepancy in marks inside 50. It was only 4-2 Baronia's way. But certainly they looked the much better side in terms of the running, with Scoresby limited on the bench. Can't see them getting back into this one.
It's going to be an uphill battle. That's certainly for sure. Any hope, Gav Casey?
Oh, it's just not. We were talking about, but, you know, well, I'm not kicking the footy, so let's hope that Scoresby rise to the challenge. But on evidence, the run and the times that Baronia had 3 or 4 numbers running with the next to the man, running with the ball, and then looking forward, he had more than one option free. And even if he missed his target, which sometimes he did, the guy had time to retrieve it himself and hand it off to another guy on his own. So it was, Scoresby were, well, it just didn't look good for them at all in that third quarter.
Of course, you're not going to get any AFL around the ground scores because this is the only game going on. But in the AFL, earlier today at Etihad Stadium, it was GWS 19-12-126 getting over the line against St Kilda 12-7-79. And the other game going on today over at Domain Stadium in Perth, it is currently 2-5-17 apiece between Fremantle and Carlton. So if you wanted
a final score?
No, that's a quarter time score.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to see Carlton Legends, you probably should have gone over to WA because you only got about a quarter and 10 minutes out of Anthony Koutafidis this afternoon.
No Carlton Legends in that game.
No,
either.
I was almost said we've got to go back to the 95 for any Carlton Legends.
Once Silvani retired, that's about it.
That's a bit stiff on Craig Bradley.
Did Silvani retire after Bradley? I don't know, about the same.
Semantics.
Yeah.
You get the point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dyson just wanted to trip you up big time.
I think I did. So, sorry, Ben, I'll just let you shuffle your way in front of the TV and just into position A1.
If Scoresby had as much...
Did you pay extra for your ticket this afternoon?
I certainly paid for the TV, I know that.
Oh, here we go.
If Scoresby had
Because
shown
you're
that
blind
much
and can't see
aggression,
the other side of the ground.
we'd
Sorry,
be
go
better
on,
off.
Gav.
That's what Scoresby need to do. Get
You need
themselves
a
in
tissue,
contest. Get in for the hard ball. Push their opponent aside.
It was going to get there eventually, Gav. You tried it 5 times.
I know. Well, I don't like not finishing my sentences.
So play to start here in the final term, and it is a 21-point margin to the Baronia Football Club. Van Reenen just scooped it out looking for Hicks. It was stolen by the Hawks. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line now, bouncing out in front there of Kinga. That player was Walsh. He's had a pretty good game. Released football, comes into the arms out there of... I think it might have been Henderson in there. No, he's not big enough for that. Comes out now, McKernan on the right boot. Wasted no time either. Drives the ball inside forward 50. Magpies have got the numbers and the whistle has been blown, so a free kick will go the way of Hicks. Beneath the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, drives it out towards Williams, who just has such good jukes, Williams. Moving themselves along the wing position, right in front of the faithful out here today. There's a good crowd out here at Scoresby. No cars allowed in the ground, so plenty of great viewing spots for all the fans. As trying to trap the football there was Burgess. He copped one a little bit too high.
They need to work on their tackling skills there, Scoresby.
Got the handball away. Kick goes up towards the half-forward line. Still got the numbers. Linking up nicely there was Yusuf. On the left boot, goes inside forward 50. Bouncing football. Over she goes for a boundary throw-in. 1.5 minutes in almost. 21 points is the margin still. Van Reenen to go up in the ruck against Wright. Van Reenen over the top to Hicks. That combination works really well. So it's deep in the Baronia forward line. They'd love to kick the first one just for that bit of breathing space. Take a little bit of sting out of this contest. Ash King tried to break a tackle and he was brought to ground. So we'll have a bounce. So a few stoppages early in the piece. Pye brings it back up again. Van Reenen easily that time. Little handball by McKernan. He was looking for Yusuf. Used his body okay. Had some support coming in. They've got players across the arc here if they want to use them. Strong mark has been taken by Burgess. He'll shoot towards goal and it fades at the last moment. Through for one behind. Well, the Baronia fans would have really liked to see that one go through. They do add to their lead by 1 point. 22 points is the margin on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Baronia have it over Scoresby 2.5 minutes into the final term. comes back out now. Giannopoulos on the right boot. Sends it towards the Hicks direction. He's got Duncan by himself, screaming for the football. Takes it. He'll swing around onto the trusty left foot of his. Kick up towards a half-forward line. Big fly there by Sonzi over the back of him. It was trapped by Hare on the left boot. Sends it goalwards. This might bounce favourably here. It might sit up as well. Trapped in there by Bardsley and thrown over for a rush behind. So that was better. It's in their arc and the point goes on the board. Back to 21 points is the margin, and that was the margin at three-quarter time.
3 minutes played. Short chip kick out of defence there from Granlund. Found its target in Dodd. Dodd kicks further afield as they just slow down the approach. Casterton kicks further wide out in front of the Boronia coach's box. They'd be happy. They'd be very impressed with their second half, in fact. This is what Scoresby did last week. They surrendered a 5-goal lead at three-quarter time last week against South Belgrave. The Saints kicking, I think, eight or 9 goals in the final term to run over the top.
Do you think we saw the reason why today? That they don't have the legs?
It was just a huge momentum shift that went all the way in Boronia's favour. A few players got down on themselves. Still time, though, for Scoresby if they're good enough, as the kick comes inside forward 50 once again. Tapped over the boundary line and out of bounds, about 5 metres round from the Magpies' goal. Listening to EFL Game Day, of course, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour. And a great day of footy out here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. The crowd came to see Cooter. They didn't get much of him, but what they've got is a sensational game of footy. This one could go right down to the wire, although that's been called holding the ball.
I reckon he got rid of that.
I don't think he got tackled.
He had 2 or 3 opportunities, Matty Krawczyk, to get rid of it. Didn't do so.
I reckon he was stiff.
We'll agree to disagree on this occasion. As Yusuf.
Because his handball looked like he just dropped it like a hot potato. That's why I reckon it looked like holding the ball.
And the journeyman of local footy, Jason Yusuf. Kicks up towards half back, but it's marked well. Great work there by Goldsworthy. The kick short, dangerous, although it's found its target in Krawczyk. He's looking for a target. He's probably just going to pop this one to the top of the goal square. It goes further than that. Diesso the target. He came in late though. No chop of the arms for a kick there on Bell. Stiff though, but Boronia will get this one away. Bouncing ball out to centre wing on the outer side. Great body work there and a chance to move it away here by Walsh. Walsh gets his handball away. Now the numbers still with Boronia as a free kicking advantage paid to Granlund. Held up, going nowhere, and finally the cavalry arrives for Scoresby and they hold it up.
It's almost like Granlund spilled a goal-scoring chance then, because he's probably licking his lips as he got the ball and then he's just left it behind.
Van Reenen up against Wright. The latter trying to get rid of the football. Brought to ground by Big Reese. Try to restart it again. Scoresby desperate for the next goal. Time is a-ticking. Going up there was Giannopoulos. He got a fist on it. He's charging in through. There was Redaway. The Pies, though, they'll have the numbers and they'll get the clearing kick out. It's looking for Bardsley. Will it stay in? And he had eyes only for the football.
Gone out of bounds.
The umpire said no. You disguised it well, but I saw it go over. So free kick to Garrity. Garrity, an up and under kick. It might have been touched off the boot there. Comes up to half forward line. Well done there by McKernan. Just ran into a bit of traffic there. Duncan dives hard on Garrity and we'll have a boundary. No, we'll have a ball up just inside the boundary line. 70 metres out from the Boronia goals. 21 points they lead by. Almost 7 minutes gone here in this final term. Straight into the arms of Duncan from Van Reenen, who got it back again. Bolton was in there. So too was, just a gang tackle there by Castledine and Bardsley. Sees the ball trickle over. Grant Campbell, some stats that matter early in this final term, thanks to Choose Tap.
Clearance is still going Boronia's way, 4-1 this quarter.
Castledine lays another tackle.
So the Magpies are getting a lot of numbers around the contest. They want to lock it down, but it's not going to help them when they trail by 21 points. Have they got the legs to open it up?
Well, 20 minutes to do everything you can. Comes in now. Phillips. It's about 15 players just surrounding themselves around this football. It's hard to get out, and that's why we're having another bounce.
And Baronia won't mind if all these players around the contest.
Yeah, they've got the 21-point
That's
lead.
right.
Time is their friend as it ticks away.
Ball's thrown up. Henderson got the knockout. Eventually links in the arms of Phillips, who dropped the football at the wrong time. Snap around the body there by Redaway. Picked up by Sonzi. Little handball out. Picked up by King. He just wanted to get it out of that danger zone, so he kicked it out towards the Boxall direction. Released the handball, and now the Pies can go forward. Handball over the top into absolute no man's land. And the Hawks have got plenty of time through White, whose kick was smothered, but he managed to pick the football up again and get a short pass on. Still weren't able to take the mark. So it's a not pretty football at the moment, Hill. Now Baronia, another chance to go forward. Can they create something from this? Bolton over the top. They switch the play nicely. They might be able to work something out here. Here's Henderson on the right boot. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Out in front, Lachlan McKernan. He's about 60 metres out from goal. Just waiting and waiting. Will he go back and perhaps have a ping himself?
They put a ban on leading, have they?
Played on in the end, and coming in from the side was Bardsley, and advantage paid, and now here's Scoresby's chance to go forward. The kick goes inside forward 50. Hare takes it on the chest. He was in the right spot, and he'll go back to put through his 5th of the afternoon, and an important one as well.
Did the umpire ever actually call play on?
I don't think he did, actually. That's what the Baronia...
I wouldn't be happy with that.
I think it's... Corey Burgess is asking, hang on.
Well, it was...
I thought I heard him call it.
Hare comes in, important kick, and he doesn't let his side down either. He puts through his 5th goal of the afternoon, crossing the 10-minute mark of this final quarter, and it's Baronia still leading. They have a very handy 15-point lead. 13-10-88 plays 11-7-73.
Well, you know, we're gone 10 minutes into this quarter, but you know, they're only 15 points down, Scoresby. You know, they're still in the game. If they could get the next goal, you know, but they've got to get that run back in their feet. You know, they look very tired in what they do, but you know, there's certainly a chance. You don't give up yet.
Well, I almost think Baronia fell into a false sense of security and said, we don't have to do anything anymore. The game's, they're not going to kick a goal, but now they have.
Pretty disappointing response to the goal, but there's still plenty of time left in the game, and it's only a 15-point margin. Diesso got his handball away. Castledine under a lot of pressure. Got around 1, got around 2, and slotted 2 in a minute. Scoresby back in this game with a point.
That was a crowd.
You got sucked in.
They're all standing behind the goals anyway.
You should have seen the goal umpire. He was drifting that way left so far. It was ridiculous, and you're calling a goal.
11-8-74 Scoresby, 13-10-88 Baronia, 10.5 minutes gone as Granlund kicks out from defence long to the clubroom side here at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. Still a massive crowd out on that side of the ground. Plenty of numbers here and here for Baronia. They can work it out. There's been a free kick plucked out off the play for holding.
Frustrations by the
and I reckon it's going to be 25 as well.
And 50.
And another 25 on top of that.
Oh, wow.
It's...
Might pull a card out, I reckon, as well.
Yeah, it's unnecessary at this time of the game, because what was an average free kick across half-back is now 60 metres out from attacking goal.
And it wasn't a free kick from play. It was actually because of the push.
Yeah. So a kick goes inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Numbers around. Good work out there from White. Jeez, he's been good. He's been pink for holding the ball, though. You give a guy a wrap.
This is one way the Scoresby staying in it. They're physically trying to intimidate, and it seems to be working at the moment.
As Krausick takes the free kick, kicks out wide. Wasn't all that flash intended there for Porpelite. And he's seen over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Yeah, he was pushed in the defence, I reckon.
Yeah, holding his elbow or his forearm.
But saying that, the fence has got a funny ramp up to it, so if you get a bit of momentum, you're hitting it.
Ball thrown in once again. Van Reenen had front position. Flying over the back there was Henderson. Centre wing right in front of the Scoresby coach's box. Good work from Giannopoulos. Just tried to push it forward. Oh, came late, the Baronia defence.
Got to be a free.
And
the spoil from the front means that the free kick is there.
Yeah, so Boxall's got the free kick. He's getting instructions coming right from behind him. Brent King sitting in the coach's box. Decides to go down the line. Flying over the back. Great mark taken there by Diesso.
Nice.
4 deep and managed to get Lofty.
Good kick too.
Inside forward, 52 on 3. It's going to bounce in a bit of space. Snapping around the body. Castledine wasn't all that flash on the opposite foot. Trying to make it work. And now Boronia can have a chance to clear away out of defence.
Oh, a scrambly kick hits the target. There's a hot football deep in the Scoresby forward line, and now Boronia across the half-back line. Mark's taken by White. He'll want to switch it further afield again because Granlund's got a little bit of space. Has to kick it off the ground to his favour. Chases after it once again. It was picked up by Berthasell. I said he copped one on the shoulder, so he'll be able to go back and find a target up forward, right on the wing position. Berthasell goes to Duncan, who's right up there with my best players on the ground today. Just pokes it up towards the Diesso direction and having the good sit there, Ryan Henderson. He had only eyes for the football, and it was not worth what Dan Diesso did by coming in, and he rightfully is given a 25-metre penalty against him.
It's hard to spoil the ball with your knee.
So Ryan Henderson, 15 minutes left in this game, and then we'll be crossing almost straight back to the Radio Eastern studios. Mark's been taken by Luke Leeson. Short passes on to Granlund. All players forward of the ball at the moment, so they've got time to work it out. Here's Ryan White.
You just look around the field, though. The Scoresby, they're very tired. You can just have a look at their body language, you know.
So are Boronia, but they're prepared to
but they're prepared to work hard and make something out of it, whereas Scoresby, they're just jogging to the contest.
Granlund, I really like the look of his game today. Kicked it. It was almost taken there by Owen for Scoresby. Goes after it again. Krawczyk just looped a handball over the top. He was looking for Duncan, who almost cocked one in the back. The umpire said play on. Hicks goes in hard. Eventually the ball scoots out. Nicely done there by Casterton. Little chip kick over the top. It was very cute looking for King. He just couldn't pull it in, and over it goes for a boundary throw in 50 metres out from the Boronia goal line.
Need to hit back before time on here. Not much scoring so far in this final term. Van Reening got the tap over the back. Little nifty toe poke there from Duncan. Gets it away. Williams went over the head of Castledine, who's come into the game late but hasn't been able to do much. Nice follow up there from Williams. Got it away. Boxall under a lot of pressure in the centre of the ground. And held up. 15 minutes gone, final term. Listening to EFL Game Day here on 98.1 Radio Eastern, or streaming live on the web at www.efl.org.au. As Boronia try and push forward once again. That Scoresby defence holding up like it did so well in the first half. Went missing in the third quarter as Duncan tries to get it away. Just gets his handball away in time. Wasn't all that flush though, as it found Yusuf for Boronia. And now Boronia can regain possession, although out of bounds. About 50 round from the Boronia goal. The Hawks leading this one at 13-10-88. Scoresby 11-8-74. Not going away yet, the Magpies, but still holding off enough the Hawks. Pushing the back free kick there will go the way of the Hawks. It'll be against Matty Krawczyk. Looks like Yusuf to take the free kick, goes short. Finds his target in Dodd. Dodd, about 50 out. Doesn't look all that confident. He's going to load up to the top of the goal square, though. Looking for a target of a marking option. Van Reening was the tallest man there and tried to make the most of it. About 5 metres out. It's caught up, held up, and we'll have a ball up. Any chance for Scoresby, Ray?
No, not at this stage. They're not playing well.
And that's not going to help either. Kick over the head there. And what a goal. Boronia strike back once again. And at the 17-minute mark, they bring it back out to a 20-point lead. Work experience kids done me again.
Yeah, if it wasn't out of Scoresby team before that kick, it certainly is now. Look, they're just not. They've got no run left in them. You can see that. Even at the start of this quarter, they were going to. It was a job too far away.
I'm going to say Sean Bell. I'm not 100% certain on that.
It could be Bruno Fornarello. Or whatever.
It could be anyone.
I don't think it was Bell. Ball comes out.
There was a ring-a-ding-ding goal, though.
It wasn't Cooter.
Gleeson knocked it on. Here's Callanan. He can have 2 in a minute here for the Hawks. There was a sausage roll off the boot. Bounces through for one behind. Went left. Right near the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 17.5 minutes into this final term. 22 points is the margin. Since about the 10-15 minute mark of that third term, it's hovered around just under 4 goals for the majority of it. Scoresby can peg one back, but they just can't kick multiple goals in a row, and they are fastly running out of time.
He comes out of defence. It was a wobbly one, and it's another turnover. Intercept mark. Soupy, thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, it's only one intercept mark each for the quarter. Inside 50's 10-8 in favour of Baronia.
How many marks have they taken this quarter, either side?
Oh, I don't calculate total marks.
Yeah, it doesn't, but it's just the ball's just bouncing around.
Henderson
I don't reckon many marks.
backing himself in from a long way out. This one's going to go all the way to the goal line. Pack of players fly. No one can take the mark. And ball spills to ground level, held up.
If the goal line's 20 metres out from goal.
It's geographically a little bit out, but anyway.
That'll learn you.
DSO punching over the back. Come that third man up.
We won't mention when Cooter went for that mark in the first term.
Just a pack of players trying to create. And a great mark fly there from Trent Castledine. Couldn't take the mark.
Now there's a fine.
And held up. So 60 metres round from the Baronia goal. Still a 21-point margin to that very side. 19 minutes gone in this final term.
I reckon they're like two punch-drunk fighters who've signed up for 12 rounds, and they've by 6 they're just going, we're too buggered. They're just holding each other, and they just go, let's send it.
So there'll be a free kick here. Going the way of Baronia, it'll be Bolton, who kicks inside forward 50. Big pack flies. No one can take the mark. Castledine over the back. Tried to get it away. Couldn't do so. Diesso with a handball. Creates a bit of space. Now they can move out of defence here, the Magpies. Tried to go with one hand. Should have gone with two. Bardsley. Hare went in for the man instead of the ball. Still moving it forward, though, for Scoresby. Bardsley will gain possession here, although there's a free kick. Going to go the way of
throw
Baronia
against Hicks, maybe.
Yeah, he got tackled through the ball.
So the free kick go the way of Burgess, although he kicks it straight to Hare. Now Hare can go inside forward 50. Numbers for Scoresby.
Oh!
Looked at the man, not the ball, and Castledine will win the free kick. He was lucky because he pulled out right at the last minute. That could have been 100% head-on collision.
Well, he protected himself. He saw what could happen, so it's you're not going to hold it against him for pulling out of that at the last moment. And he won himself the free kick as well because he still had his head over the footy.
So Castledine from 45 kicks straight into the man on the mark.
Yeah,
obviously a bit shaken from the contest, and now a chance for Baronia to clear away. Outer side wing, read away the target. Coming over the back there, that was good work there from Walsh. Although Scoresby a chance to regroup once again to centre wing. Trying to gain it there was Bardsley, but although he's wrapped up. Great tackle there from McKernan.
Beautiful tackle.
Centre wing outer side. Ticked into time on final term. 21 minutes gone, and it's a 21-point margin in favour of Baronia.
Pye throws it up, trying to get it way out of trouble there. DSO just scooped a handball away, looking for Krosnick. It was stolen away from him. Bouncing football for Baronia up towards the half-forward line. Callanan's in there. So too is Bolton, who just used his body magnificently, tapped it over the top to his own advantage. This would be a fair old go. Bolton handball out wide, found his teammate in Redaway on the left boot. Redaway, did he get a nudge after he kicked it?
Got his head taken off.
Is it downfield?
Yeah, for sure.
Might not be downfield. I think it's going back to Redaway.
How do you take the kick when your head's rolling into the pocket?
Well, nonetheless, he's already kicked 2 goals this afternoon.
Yeah, he's got the free kick.
And a voucher to go to the clinic.
There's a streaker on the ground.
Not much to see from what I can tell from here.
Thank God he left the undies on.
Cooter didn't need to do that.
Jacob Redaway has kicked 2 goals. Lively
He's
little
kicked it.
forward, and he puts it through the middle, and that is enough, you would say, for Baronia now in this final term. 22.5 minutes gone. It's a 27-point lead, Ray. That's his third goal.
Yeah, look, it's all over now. But look, young Redaway, I think that he's been one of the best two players on the ground. He's been terrific. You know, he snuck in there with 3 goals for the day, and look, the work he's done has been terrific.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. But the tackling, the difference, obviously Scoresby aren't moving that quickly in this second half, but the Baronia's tackles are fierce, and they're great finishing efforts, where Scoresby tackles just drift over the shoulder. They've been coming in high. They're just very poor technique.
In the first half, Baronia, they had enough of the ball, but they were fumbly. They weren't taking the ball cleanly. But since half-time, they've just come out and run.
Well, when you know you've got advantage fitness-wise over your opponent, things get easier.
Yeah, so in the ruck gets the tap down for Scoresby, although it goes nowhere, and now it will through a free kick going the way of McKernan. Jeez, he's been good in the second half. Nice short chip kick, although it's just gone a little bit too short for his teammate. Now trying to move the ball here. Garrity loads up from 35. It's a grubber kick, but it's gone straight through the middle. Great goal there from Matty Garrity. He has his first, and it's all one-way traffic, all clean sailing for the Hawks. Baronia 16-11, 107, leading Scoresby 11-8, 74, 23.5 minutes gone, final term.
11 goal scorers now, Ray.
Yeah, no, look, that was a training drill. That particular passage of play was just a training drill. Look, the Scoresby have stopped.
That's it.
11 single goal kickers. That's a great spread. Look, they'd be very happy with that, not relying on...
They've had to, though. They don't have someone to rely on.
True.
They didn't have a forward in the first half to kick it and bomb it to, and then they've decided, hang on, we've got to move it ourselves as a team into 50 and work it from there.
That was the crowd beater if you're a Scoresby fan, as it's 33 points the margin, but they're not going to give up just yet. Little handball. Well, no, Hill elected to go on the opposite kick. Then inside forward, 50 charging up there was Bardsley. Landed off his chest. Strong tackle on Hicks by Ryan Henderson, and we'll have a bounce 35 metres out from the Scoresby goals.
Only the second time in the last 21 games that Baronia's kicked over 100 points.
Okay.
Thanks to Juicer.
Oh, I did say before the game they needed to kick over 100 to win. Just claiming it.
Well, they didn't. They probably only need to get about 80.
Yeah, true.
Our Sunday genius, Gav Casey.
Yes, I'm doing my best work on a Sunday. Don't get me for Saturday.
Captain obvious.
Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Mark taken there by Redaway. He's kicked 3 goals this afternoon and been good, and that was to no exception. Kicks finds Zach Callanan, who takes the mark about 40 metres. He'll have to put this one on his boot to set sail through.
Speaking about putting your hand up for best on ground.
I can't get it, can I?
You want a box of tools?
Yes. Working, yes. From outside on the roof, the call is I'm working with tools.
Callanan comes in now on the right boot. It floats and it gets all the way to the goal line where King was in the front spot, and it just fell on his lap, and he can just play on and kick a goal if he wants. But instead he'll go back, and as he took it inside the square, the goal square, he'll be able to kick from directly in front.
Gave, there's about a roof full of them, not far away.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Not the sharpest though, would you say?
No, I think you're right there.
Josh King from point blank range. Makes no mistake either. Thumps the ball straight through the middle. That's his second goal of the afternoon, and Baronia just enjoying running away with this game now. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 26 minutes gone, 17-11, 113. 39 points, 11-8, 74 is Scoresby.
And we've got a game tomorrow, Dyson, at least, to still go in this round. We've got 5 games tomorrow, but we're looking forward to broadcast again, aren't we?
Yeah, we certainly are. From 2 o'clock, we'll be at Wally Chew Reserve for Ferntree Gully taking on Forest Hill. And you know it's 5 when the boys start singing Daryl Braithwaite's Horses.
The Rooftop Boys are loving it today.
It's like a home and away gang.
The Little House of Horrors.
From Yabby Creek.
The Rooftop Boys. They get after all mischief.
So we'll have a secondary ball up. Couldn't get away on the first occasion, not either side. There'll be a blood rule as well. So 27 minutes gone. Can't be too much longer left in this game.
They're the only happy Scoresby fans. That's for sure, the Rooftop Boys. Yeah. And Ray, you've already named one of your players you consider best on ground.
We'll have to do it as soon as the siren goes before we throw back to the Radio Racing studios. All thrown up. Good work from DSO. Tried to get the tap away. Good work from Castledine. It's been good in patches this afternoon. Looking for a fly. Nice punch over the back there from Lake. Held up, going nowhere there was Mark Williams. So ball up. 35 out from the Scoresby goal. DSO once again gets the tap down. Baroni to clear this time through Lake. Kick was sharp and darting, but it managed to find his target there in White. Turned it on in the third term. Set up a couple of goals, kicked one of his own. Now goes inside forward 50, looking for King. Had to reach out, the big man, Redaway. Got his handball away, now a chance to set up a goal. Running into open goal square, Callanan makes no mistake. And the 18th goal on the board for the Boronia Football Club. 18-11, 119. They lead Scoresby 11-8-74. That's his third, Zach Callanan.
Beautifully set up by Jacob Redaway then. The ball was kicked in. He was front and centre. Gav, by the looks of them.
And Soupy, is this their biggest score in more than 2 years? Or what? You've got the stats there because they've only scored over 100.
The highest score last year, I think, was 107. So, yeah, it is.
Uncharted waters. But let's hope they can keep this up. They're not going to probably get days where it's so hot and that you can outrun your opponents. But have they got the midfield to keep persisting? Because they've won the clearances like this from the centre, dominated all day.
Sun's going down.
It certainly is. It's getting late. Obviously a late start here this afternoon. And a late finish.
Lucky I brought
as
my
it
cardigan.
happens. We've gone 29 minutes in this final term.
Ray needs to be in bed in an hour.
And there it is. He can go to bed now. Just waiting for the kick to go. Excuse me, if Redaway hadn't touched that would have been an added goal. Alas, they didn't need it though. Boronia 18-11, 119. Victorious here against Scoresby after a scintillating second half. Scoresby 11-8-74. A fantastic effort from Boronia. They trailed right throughout the first half, but struck back in that. Kicker Zach Callanan kicked 3 for Boronia, 2 to Walsh, also Braden White and Jacob Redaway. Singles to White, Phillips, Bolton, Dodd, Garrity and King.
So some of the better
might start going through our better players so we can give our Trojan Tools player of the day for this afternoon's game. Maybe just your pick for best on ground. We're going with Jacob Redaway, Ben.
I think it's unanimous. We've gone around and we've come to the decision that Redaway is the best on ground today, as long as we've got the tick of approval from Soupy.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Battle, one of the Burgess boys, but it's hard to know which one's which sometimes.
So there it is. A comprehensive win in the end to the Boronia Hawks. The away side this afternoon, they came and spoiled the party. They take the 4 points back to Tormore Reserve. Thanks for joining us on EFL Game Day, whether you were joining us live on www.efl.org.au or on, of course, 98.1 Radio East. And we thank them for their extra time this afternoon. Thanks to Grant Campbell.
Thank you, Dyson. Great to be here.
Thanks
Peter Cooter got injured, though.
Thanks for your work, Ray Bed.
Thanks, Dyson.
Gav Casey, sharp as always.
See you tomorrow, mate.
John Adams, a quiet afternoon from you, but sharp nonetheless.
We'll see if this microphone works.
There we go. It's worked 5 minutes after the final siren. Perfect timing. Thanks to Giggles. Thanks to Lee. It's been a great day. Thanks again to you, Ben, as well.
No, I loved being involved all Sunday. Thanks to Ray and Gav as well, who put their hand up to be part of the team for the whole afternoon as well. I saw Miss Half Time arrived this afternoon as always. Alana Coleman just swan on in also. But yeah, no, thank you to yourself, Dyson. I believe you're uploading EFL Sunday, so I'm pretty excited about that.
It'll be the earliest it's gone up in about 3 years.
Ever.
So, and of course, we can't forget, we've been mentioning the balcony all afternoon. So thank you
how good has this been?
Very much to Dennis, who opened his house up to us.
You're a legend, Dennis.
We've taken up his whole balcony, but nonetheless, I think he's been impressed with what we've done.
And he's had to put up with Bruce all day.
We'll send back to the Radio Eastern studio. That's all from EFL Game Day. We'll be back from 2 o'clock tomorrow. And thanks very much to Roger Broadbent.